my god. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and by somewhere, I mean currently 5 o'clock for me. So, hello. Welcome to the stream. We're here to chill and vibe for the first hour or so. Let's make sure we're not having lefty audio today. No lefty audio today. We're doing so good. Congratulations, us. High fives all around. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, innit? Oh, what's up, Roadsoy? Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Starting us off strong at the beginning of the stream with a little $5 dono. Thank you so much. Enjoy your dicks. Amazing. Perfect. So, yeah, you gotta keep re-upping. Anyway, I want to say hello to the YouTube chat really quick because there are way fewer people hanging out over there. What's up, YouTube chat? There's Anthony. There's Morgan. Hello. Max, first stream. Nice. Welcome in. We appreciate having you. If you didn't know, I have a website, luxander.net, with a custom chat with fun, cool emojis. And you're welcome to come over here if you want to, or you can hang out on the YouTube chat. That's totally fine. Hello, In League with Satan. I just shaved my legs yesterday for the first time, and I'm in the most painful and uncomfortable pain right now. Yeah, I've stopped shaving my legs. I only use the epilator. I only use the tweezer machine. So, you know, I still shave other parts of me that can't really take the epilator, but yes, for my legs, it's all yanks all day. What's up, Paul Hack and Madam Swords, Madam Crossed Swords? That's a cool name. What's up, Speedy? And then hello on the website chat. Of course, all of my lovelies on the website chat. We've got lots of green names in here today. Hello, Drums. What's up, Decoy Duck? There's Violet. Hello, Junebug, Timerinia, Diaphla. Oh yes, what's up? Don't ooh my oh whoa. I just wear gym pants all the time, so I hardly have any hair left on my legs. Does it is it abrasive? I'm not getting the connection. Okay, it's abrasive. Gotcha. It just rubs it off. Well, you'd have to be really mobile. Excuse me, in order for your clothing to be, oh, I see. It's comfy, but it pulls the hair. Okay. Good night, Spider. Good night. What's with those crystal hair erasers? Are you talking about the at-home laser things? I don't know. I have not used one of those before. Oh my god, voice training is gonna be so hard. I'm on stream and I'm remembering oh yeah, there's things that I'm supposed to be doing to adjust my voice to make it sound less annoying. And I'm like, oh my god, okay. Let me do it. Whoa, it's literally a piece of glass? Wait, a piece of glass that you rub on your body and get rid of the hair? I don't understand. I like leg hair, but I also love the smooth. I hate the sensation of having long leg hair, but that's just, it's like an autistic thing. It's not really a gender thing. Do you recommend an epilator? I just got an epilator off of Amazon. I got one that's got a shaver head, and you can take off the shaver head and you can put on the epilator head. So that was, I just got a pretty inexpensive one, and it works okay. I don't know how much longer it is going to work, but it works okay for now, for what I need it for. Oh, it's the same as a nail file, but it's just wider. Okay, so it's, hold on. I think I actually just found some nail files. So, I mean, this is an emery board, but they make emery boards that are metal. Is that what you're talking about? It'll make your skin sore if you overdo it. That's what yeah. It's your and the hair is coming off, but it's not good for your skin, I imagine. It sounds like a cheese grater, basically. I have an issue with the sensation of long head hair on the back of my neck. I'm considering cutting my hair middle length to avoid that for summer. Oh yeah. You could get an undercut, I guess, and then put your hair up or something. I don't know. That could work. Traditionally, people would use pumice. Okay. I prefer the epilator because the epilator rips the hair out from the follicle, and that means that it doesn't grow back as quickly. Whereas I imagine if you're just doing a surface level thing, the hair would grow back immediately, right? I get an issue from hair touching my forehead, so I can never have bangs. Bangs are so hard to maintain, y'all. So hard to maintain. So if you're enjoying hanging out, we appreciate having you here. We will talk about politics today. We usually hang out for like an hour first. So if you didn't know that, we usually just kind of like, we started at 5 p.m., which was about 10 minutes ago. And we're going to continue hanging out for probably like this first hour. We try to like chill because like there's so much terrible news in the world, you know? There's so much stress and bad shit happening. So for the first hour, we try to just like be human beings together, you know? We'll just talk about random stuff. Sometimes we do end up talking about serious topics in the first hour as part of the flow of conversation, but for the most part, you know, we're not gonna. And today in Texas until a little bit later, all right? So it's fine if you don't want to hang out for that. Please hit the like on the stream before you leave. Or if you're just gonna hang out and stay with us, then also hit the like button because it's free and it's quick and it immediately helps the stream. You might also consider throwing me a donation because this is my full-time job, but I understand that rent is about to be due, so Godspeed out there. Everybody take care of yourselves. What's up, Alexis? There's a 2.2 out of 5 star review on the crystal hair eraser. Haven't tried it on the girl skin, but on the guy skin, it got 60% of the body hair in patches. It depends on skin tautness. The positive side is that it is an exfoliant, and you can do that while sitting in the living room watching Lux. Razor burn. Oof, oof. Yeah, that's rough. But good to know. Yeah, you know, if your skin was really loose, then it would be tough. I have really, like, weird skin texture, so I don't know how it would work on me. Hello, gay fish. I have tea and hot dogs. What an interesting combo. Like, what? Why? I guess if you're just a tea drinker, then you just drink tea with everything. It feels like femininity symbols are all designed to attack autism. Okay. I mean, if you just like both of them. Hello, Shade. Welcome in. I am supposed to go to the post office tomorrow. That's my plan, is to go to the post office tomorrow. I had errands yesterday and I had errands today, and they happened to be completely nowhere near the post office. Many things that are hard for people on the spectrum to handle happen to be gendered like that. Long hair is a feminine thing, right? And that is a sensory issue for autistics. And yeah, like I find it really difficult to have long nails, you know? Like, cause it just gets in the way of shit. Anyway, Gozer spotted a live Luxander. Hell yeah, welcome in. I think that's at least 2 people today who've mentioned that this is like basically their first time catching stream, or they haven't caught stream in a long time. So that's cool. Good to have you here. We're vibing. We're chilling in this beginning part of the stream. Since having short hair, I feel much better. It feels so great to have it off of my head on the sides and like off my ears. That's where it really bugs me, is when the hair starts to get long on the ears. Oh my God, I can't deal with it. I actually cut my ear. I like clipped my ear with the clippers by accident when I was trying to get a really nice close cut right behind, like right here in this spot. I don't know why it's so annoying, but I end up going in with scissors. I go in with scissors and I'm like, I just try to cut like really close to the scalp. Killer top, hair and threads. Thank you. The last time I wore this shirt, I wore it with like the mesh underneath, but I figured we would just try this for now. I can relate to this hair sensory conversation a lot. Yeah. Should the hair come down? I don't know. I feel like the hair being down may work a little bit better with this look. There we go. The second it hits my ears, I start getting bothered. It's so wonderful that I cut my own hair now, because I can just shave it all myself every 3 weeks or so. It's amazing. Just got dead named by everyone at my pulmonologist. It literally says my preferred name on my chart. If I go back in 3 months and they do it again, I might be mad. I feel like you have the right to be mad now. I feel like it's okay for you to be angry about it in the present and not in 3 months. Do we talk about Lego today? I mean, I feel like we talked about Lego as much as I'm going to be able to talk about Lego last time, right? Should have pigtails. I'm not going to try to do pigtails. I don't even know how that would go. Violet says that there was a similar issue with her dentist not changing the name on the chart even after I legally changed my name. What is with transphobic doctors just being everywhere? Anyway, we like to talk about random shit on the Luxander show. Let me get some stuff closed. How do we feel about music during stream? It's still something I'm mulling over. I missed last stream. You don't have to go into all of it, but did Lego do a good or did they do a bad? Lego, they basically put out like a Little Mermaid thing, and people are butthurt about the Little Mermaid in general right now. So they're butthurt about Lego doing Little Mermaid, you know, because, you know, diversity in the roles that are presented to young children is like a bad thing according to these people. I scheduled an appointment with my secondary mental health provider to get my second letter for surgery. Oh, that's exciting. I'm glad that you're making progress. It sucks that you have to go through that process of getting all these letters and stuff in order to have the surgery that you know that you want, but man. Don't get content claimed by chill lo-fi vibes. Oh, but chill lo-fi vibes could be cool. Yeah, I think that it would make editing tough, honestly, so that's the main reason why I don't do it. I'm so done with Disney live-action remakes, and it has nothing to do with casting POC. Agreed, Gayfesh. I'm annoyed with Disney live-action remakes because I am tired of them, like, remaking content for the purpose of re-upping their copyright. Isn't that basically the only thing? No worries, Rotsoy. I totally get it. Makes sense to me that sometimes you gotta take a break from the tough news. Occasionally, I take it. If you ever see a stream of mine that is just titled something like, no! Like, or it's titled something like, I refuse, or some crazy shit like that, it's probably me being like, yeah, I'm gonna game or otherwise just talk about nonsense today. And because I'm just not really into, sometimes I just really don't want to talk about the news, but I'm like, it's my job to stream. So I guess I'm just gonna not talk about anything serious and we're just gonna fuck off for like 3 hours. Yeah, Ursula is a queer icon for sure. Found an epilator for 13. Oh, that's not an epilator, it's one of those crystal things. Okay, cool. Yeah. Nice. Very exciting. The copyrights for those movies is going to go until like the 22nd century. Remaking them is just cashing in on Gen X and millennial nostalgia. I thought that it was like every 50 years. Or did copyright law get expanded recently? I really thought that it was like every 50 years they would need to make another thing in the franchise. But yeah, I am getting really annoyed at the fact that my nostalgia, that like they're trying to like capitalize on my nostalgia and abuse that in order to continue profiting. Just let the things from my past be just let them be in the past. It's similar to how I tried to go back to World of Warcraft recently, and like I haven't played it in 10 years or so. My partner and I played it together for several years, and it was like a big deal in the beginning of our relationship. And I went back and like I tried to play a little bit of it, and you know, it's like a lifestyle commitment, first of all, to play World of Warcraft. Like, I guess you can play it a little bit at a time, but when I'm playing it, I'm thinking, oh, how am I going to build this into something that will work for like, oh, I'm going to have a bunch of different characters who do a bunch of different things. I don't, you know, it's hard to play just for the sake of playing it. But also I think that I mostly miss it because of like missing that time of my life 10 years ago. It's a totally different game now. Like, you know, I'm just realizing that even when I try to go back to things that I'm nostalgic about, I really don't end up feeling satisfied, you know, because I'm not really getting whatever it was that I was originally getting. I think WoW only works if you're the type that cares more about experimenting than with min-maxing. No, I don't really care about min-maxing in World of Warcraft. It's more like, oh, I'm going to level up this character who's going to have these professions, and then I'm going to level up this character who has these professions, and they're going to, like, feed into each other, and, you know, oh, this is the character that I play with this person. Kind of weird Disney chose to do that instead of make a live action The Princess and the Frog. Oh yeah, I mean, I guess they could have done that, and the diversity thing would have already been built in. It's not unlike my nostalgia for 2016. 2016 sucked, but the first half was personally really great for me. Yeah, maybe I'm just playing World of Warcraft wrong. But, you know, in this day and age, it's like, if I'm going to play the game, it would be better if I could earn my time in-game, and that does require the synergizing of a bunch of professions across multiple characters that are at a high enough level that they can do professions, you know? Like, having a character that does the gathering stuff, and that feeds the other characters that have, like, the stuff that actually makes money. Oh, Decoy Duck, you got me. I lost the game. There are 58 people here, and I just made all of you lose the game, and I'm not sorry. Not related, but Lux, your voice attracts my cat every single time. Oh, what a good kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. I love cats. They're so great. Is this WoW or capitalism? This is why I play RuneScape. Only need one character to do 100% of the content. You want me to do kitty, kitty, kitty again? I mean, I feel like it's someone's kink, so I'm reluctant. Anyhoozle. How's the weather in everybody's locality lately? Is it seasonally appropriate? Because I like, we are getting some of the on and off rain that you get around this time of year, you know? But it's about to get real fucking hot here in Topeka. It is hot in Topeka, and it's gonna be hot for a while. True, Halo Ben. There are 58 viewers, but only 30 likes. Gotta fix that shit. Halo, did you know that I have a website that's like Xanderhall's website? Like, if this chat that's over here, this isn't Twitch. This is my website. So I don't know if you're always a YouTube chat lurker, but I'm one of the cool guys over on Whiteleaf. Yeah, no public kink. Pride's just around the corner. Not allowed. It's too hot and dry compared to the usual here in France. Haven't seen any rain for weeks at this point. Oh my god, that sounds awful. It's like Zan's chat, but better because it involves less drama. I don't actually know if that's the case. I don't hang out with Zan's chat very, very much, occasionally. That's certified lurker, thank you. Okay, certified lurker. It wasn't a kink. The muscles, however. Yo, like, so speaking of my journey to become, like, defined muscular person, this week I have officially started my cut. I'm not gonna try to eat a lot of food. I'm gonna, like, try to cut back on my food a little bit, and I've switched from going to the gym to now I'm doing bodyweight exercises at home instead of, like, weightlifting. So I'm gonna stop getting bigger, and I'm just gonna, like, maintain my tone and get my, like, stamina up, and hopefully, like, reduce some of the fat that I was accruing, because it's normal to gain fat while you're bulking. But I was like, yeah, I just decided that I don't want to bulk for 6 months straight. I would rather have a cut in between. So I am excited about that. And I've put flexing behind a paywall as of now, so I guess I'm gonna just like stick with that. Subscribe to my Fansly for $5 a month if you want to see pictures of my muscles. Or we can get to $100 donations today if you want me to flex. I can do that. Always fun. Oh, Star Wars The Old Republic. Star Wars The Old Republic, I hate it because it does not let you skip any of the dialogue. I mean, you can skip the dialogue, hypothetically, but then you don't know what are the correct options to choose to make your companion like you better. You know? I played on the Sith mode, and I was like trying to make my little companion guy like me more, and you have to pick the meanest option in order to make him like you more. That's not how I wanted to play. And also, like, I really prefer to skip a lot of the dialogue in games like that. I'm like, just give me the goddamn quest and let me go kill shit. That's all I'm here for. If I ever streamed, I would probably just do a bunch of MMOs. Have we determined if it's possible for me to play a World of Warcraft while I'm streaming? I probably could. That could be, it could be something to do in the background while I'm talking to you all and actually thinking about other things. Mindless video games that you can sort of just play and talk at the same time. That's the streamer's wet dream. Hope you reach your muscle target. I'm trying my best not to use my arms to make my muscles shrink faster. Complete opposite goal. Yeah, I mean, you can do, like, lean exercises, right? But, yeah, you can join the streamer guild with Zan and Keffels. Wait, which streamer guild? In what game? What are you talking about? On World of Warcraft? Is there a streamer guild on World of Warcraft? Listen, that might be enough to get me to actually play on WoW Classic. If it's WoW, is it WoW Classic Wrath? Or is it WoW Classic Classic? Because that's two different things. I've been seeing that gender criticals have been getting increasingly racist, increasingly homophobic, and increasingly sexist. They are fascists. And they're really, like, just buying all the way into it. And they keep saying shit like, distancing themselves. Like, wow, isn't that like J.K. Rowling's, what she's doing literally currently is downplaying her affiliations with people who are directly aligned with neo-Nazis? Like, Posey Parker has for sure played nice with neo-Nazis, and like she used to have a picture of a Barbie as her profile picture that had like a swastika armband. So yeah, they're fascists for sure. I can't keep up with the kids and their wows anymore. Listen, there's the fully updated current World of Warcraft with the current story, and then they made one that's like the classic version of the game before there were any expansions, and then they've now released a version that's it's also classic, but it is Wrath of the Lich King, so it's the base game plus 2 expansions, and that's what I play, ideally. But it's $15 or $20 a month. And it's rough. The nostalgia market, literally. Yeah, that's when I played the game. It was starting with Wrath of the Lich King. And then I played through 2 more expansions and I quit during the Panda one. I could exercise, but I've been on E for 8 months or so. And the shrinking of my upper body feels so painfully slow. I want to be tiny and more femme now, not in like a year or 2. Fair enough. If you want the trans girl experience of losing the ability to open jars, that's totally fine. That's totally great. Yeah, I saw that, Violet, that you can get WoW tokens in Wrath of the Lich King version. Now I might actually do that. I might be willing to do that. I don't really like the new game. Like I don't like all the changes that have happened since I played. So so many girls who are like, I want this experience. I can't open jars and I'm not on E. Easy way to open jars equals rubber band around lid. The real secret to opening jars is to hit the side of the jar lid against the countertop. Like, that's the actual secret. And then it just works. How about a Pokemon Showdown stream where you play against us? Pokemon Showdown? What is Pokemon Showdown? Is it supposed to be for streams? How does it work? Pokemon Showdown. Jars were made by man companies to sell more men. The classic ContraPoints question. Do you actually like men or do you just like being warm? The secret to opening jars is a sledgehammer. True. Why do people say pat the bottom? That doesn't actually help anything. Pokemon Showdown. It's a battle simulator. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound the most fun. Come on, Gayfesh. Come on. Come on. I don't want to think about one man, one jar. I don't want chat to have to think about one man, one jar. Pat the bottom. Yes, it's me. I'm the bottom. Exactly. How many girls and how many cups? Too many cups. What's up, Ken? I've been lurking so far in stream because I'm making sketty, but the jar convo reminds me of the time I was trying to get to my friggin' pickles and accidentally dropped the jar on my knee. Oh, no. Oh, that's so rough. Oh, no. Anyway, we're having a random conversation right now. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. We have some, like, good, funny news and stuff that we could talk about, so let's get into some of that for this beginning part of stream. This is why I'm pickle in a bag appreciator. Pickles in a bag are so sour. Like, they're so sour, and that's not the thing that I want. I got some Clausen pickles recently. Oh my god, listen, Clausen, if you want to sponsor me, I'm all down for it. I can hit the trans girl market and the postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome market. Like, you know, so many people are developing POTS as part of their long COVID symptoms. It's an expanding market, Clausen. Please hire me. Thank you. When did you get hunty, mama? What are you talking about? You have to gently but firmly strike the concave part of the bottom of the jar with the base of your palm. The force of that pat shifts the contents toward the top and the air towards the bottom, so that when you flip the jar over, there's less air pressure against the lid. Oh, you know, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I feel like the pressure in the jar would be the same, but I guess, like, what you're saying is that the stuff itself has less pressure against the thing than the air does, even under the same pressurized, like, conditions. The fan? Yeah, I need a different fan than this one, but I was gesticulating sassily, and that's why I got the fan out. Anyway. Hello, Mersh. We're discussing the intricacies of opening jars, apparently. Look, I'm a guy, and even I hit the side of the lid on the countertop. It's like the fastest thing, just like pat pat, and then you're like, and it's open. Thwarp. What a great onomatopoeia, thwarp. Clausen doesn't have shit on the big, spicy barbecue pickles that Costco sells. You know, I haven't been to a Costco in a really long time. I don't... Yeah, I guess there is one within driving distance. It's just not, like, the thing that I usually go for. Hot water helps for opening jars. But then you have hot water on your food, and that raises the temperature, right? Says a lot that the only argument cis straight men still have going for them is jar opening. Like, I feel like jar opening is one of the minor services that men can offer. What sucks is when you have a man, like, some men are also, like, annoyed when you ask them to do little maintenance things around the house, right? Like, some wives are like, you know, oh, my husband is so resentful about taking out the trash. I always have to remind him multiple times, and then he tells me that I'm nagging him. And And it's like, I think a lot of cishet guys really think that their the only needful contribution they have to a relationship is the, like, bringing money. Like, oh, congrats, you work a full-time job. So does fucking everybody else, you know? With some exceptions, you know? I don't know whether or not I actually hit full-time hours because I don't track my hours because my work doesn't work like that. But yeah, it's like, oh, congrats, you work just like everybody else. You got to contribute more than that. You need to be like, you need to be like some mixture of emotionally supportive or physically useful. You know, like you can't just have a job and call it quits at that. Mersh says, I've always had to open jars for cis men. I enjoy humiliating them by beating them in arm wrestling too. We were joking. I was hanging out with my younger brother and my partner a couple days ago, and my partner said something about like arm wrestling my brother, who is much younger than he is and like much smaller. And I was like, what if we combined our powers? Like, what if it was like me and my partner arm wrestling, and then like my brother just like on the other side, like backing me up, and like we're both just like struggling against this one ridiculously strong cis man. In Matt Walsh's movie, he ended it with his wife asking him to open a jar. Very cringe and stupid. As a cis white straight guy, I fulfill an important societal role by being the center of the universe. You're welcome. Truly. You know, we're doing so great today. There are 67 current viewers and 64 likes, so we're almost on par, and I really deeply appreciate that, y'all. Like, I sincerely appreciate it. The only reason Matt Walsh opened a jar for his wife is because the camera was rolling. Yeah, you bet that he would just be like, why don't you ask the nanny to help you? Zero chance that he even does that much to help around the house. Yeah, he's like, Consuela, will you help her with this? Like, can you get her out of my face, please? It's fine to ask someone to do a chore, but it bugs the hell out of me when someone asks, would you like to take out the trash? I've had this, it feels like a nitpick, but like, help me chat with this one. There are 70 of you here. Help me with this. Is it ridiculous that I find it kind of annoying when, like, especially someone who's your boss asks you, like, hey, do you want to go do this? It's like, no, man, I don't. Can you just ask me to do it? Or, like, maybe even tell me to do it instead of doing this weird dance around it? Like, I think that they do interpret saying, do you want to go da-da-da-da-da as basically telling you to do it. But it just is like a bit of a pet peeve of mine. And I don't know if that's a little bit nitpicky of me, you know? Apparently Matt Walsh has never done laundry in his life. Apparently that's super common. I watched that little clip of Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles and several other right-wingers who I didn't know saying that they don't do any laundry. And that they probably also don't do dishes. But I think the question was like, would you rather do dishes or laundry? And they said dishes or something like that. Like, you know, oh, I'm so hopeless at laundry. My wife tells me not to do it. That weaponized incompetence thing. It sounds like beating around the bush when you say, would you like to or do you want to go do this thing that I'm telling you to do? Yeah, right? I'm gonna let you go to end a phone convo. Listen, that is actually like, I'm a Midwesterner and I will defend I'm gonna let you go. Or like, well, I'll let you get back to it. I will defend that like sort of soft way to get out of the conversation. But maybe that's an oversight of mine. Maybe it's a little hypocritical of me. Oh, being voluntold. Mersh, that's such a great term. Being voluntold to do something. You didn't really volunteer, you were told to do it. Oh, that's a really good one. What's up, Spirit? Just saw the title of the stream. What have those regressive Bible thumping munchkins done now? Yeah, we in the first part of my stream. There's 75 people here. I don't know if you've been here before. If you haven't, welcome. We usually hang out for the first like hour of my show, and my show started about 40 minutes ago. So usually around this time we start considering shifting gears to talk about the politics. So yeah, we have like this Texas ban on drag in public is really what the language is. We also have, there was a law passed in Kansas recently that made it illegal for you to use the bathroom of the, opposite assigned sex at birth or whatever. I live in Kansas, if you didn't know. The law is not supposed to go into effect until July, but there already has been an issue at a public library, with a cisgender woman and her disabled son trying to use a public restroom. So that's one of the things we have to talk about today. Let's see, what else is there? I had one other thing written down, and there's also like some positive news that we can talk about. Oh yeah, we do need to finally talk about Florida's de facto ban on adults having access to hormones and transition care. So we do have several, sort of news items to talk about today, and we have several hours to get through it all. I get annoyed when people speed up to get in front of me when I'm driving in my bus for work, like pass on the right or when merging. There's all kinds of driving shit that I find really annoying, and I think that people are getting worse as drivers because of brain damage from COVID, but let's not do COVID at the beginning of this stream. Do you agree with Demon Mama that Tears of the Kingdom is kinky? I haven't seen Demon Mama's take on Tears of the Kingdom being kinky. Like, how does she mean? Wait. Everyone who drives slower than me is an idiot, and everyone who drives faster than me is a maniac. True. Well, so yeah, Link is always trans AF. Kinky Tears of the Kingdom. I guess like those hands with eyeballs in them, I could see that being someone's kink. That's like a weird thing, right? I was an essential worker back at the start, and I gotta say I do kind of miss the empty roads. That's why I liked being an overnighter when I was on overnight. I was very much a fan of going to the... I was actually just complaining about this like yesterday. I miss going to Walmart at 3 in the morning and just like walking around. Vosh was saying Tears of the Kingdom is a huge progressive victory based on the innate sexualness of the characters. I feel like there's... Well, I don't know. Listen, I haven't really thought about this before. So I would have to think of like is Tears of the Kingdom kinky? There's furries in it. There's not really furries in it. They just are anthropomorphic, and like they aren't furries. Why is Demon King so hot? Why is he so hot? And Purah is so hot. Isn't Zelda like 17? No way. No way. They were already like you maybe could say that she was 17, 18 in Breath of the Wild, except that in Breath of the Wild, she also had been like trapping Ganondorf, the weird version of it, in the castle for 100 years. So she was 100 years plus whatever her teenage years. And then, like, this version of her is, they've already, it's been multiple years since the last game, as indicated by, like, some characters who you met when they were little tiny tots, and now they're, like, medium-sized people. And then Purah was, like, a medium-sized person, and now she's an adult. We have the red tights! The red tights and the black stilettos. Like, oh my god. Zelda was 17 in the flashbacks in Breath of the Wild. I know because I just played it and she mentions it. Right, her age was important to the storyline because she was like, oh, I'm supposed to go do a thing. Zelda was 17 or 18 in the 80s. It's a different version of her in every game, right? That's the idea, is like it's a bunch of different timelines. If some of the anthropomorphic animal people were furries, it would stand to reason that some of those furries whose personas are humans. Like, yeah, if a Rito had a fursona that was a human. No, Link isn't. We don't know. We don't know what Link's age is. You can assume that he's the same age as Zelda, I guess, but realistically, he's probably like a couple years older than her. Link is a minor in some games. Oh, sure. I mean, Ocarina of Time, clearly. Anyway, we like to talk about a little bit of Zelda sometimes, okay? We get on talking about Zelda. It's so fun. I've been playing a bunch of it, probably more than I should have been playing. Oh, thank you, Slashy. Thank you. They don't... Do they show up on stream? Did it show up? I didn't see the Streamlabs donation come through. But I believe you. Zelfa. Time is weird in Zelfa. It's true. Oh, good grief. Oh my god, my phone keeps making noises. Why do you keep making so many noises, phone? Stop it. Cease and desist. I'm sending a letter. Cease and desist. Okay, I see your $3 donut came through. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I didn't hear the noise, so maybe my Streamlabs is not quite set up right. Don't do this to me. Oh no. Link is like the Avatar. I really love those videos that are like trying to make sense of the Zelda timeline. There was one from Brian David Gilbert when he worked for Polygon on the Unraveled series. Like, man, it was gorgeous. Time is made up. We only think it's Tuesday because we're trusting that someone has been keeping count. The whole framework of who decided when Sunday was gonna be, who started on a Sunday, and then just like continued it from there. We don't have any idea how long it's been since any events, because, you know, at any point in history, like, the textbooks could all have been adjusted and we wouldn't know. Oh my god, me too, Slashy. I was hoping Zelda's new hairstyle was made for co-op. Oh my god. I was hoping for that too. I am gonna run and refill my water cup before we get too far into this thing. So, if you haven't already hit like, hit like. If you don't have a drink of your own, hail hydrate. Drink some water. Get yourself a little drink. Get yourself a little snicky snack. And I will be back momentarily. Yes. Yes. Okay, welcome back, everybody. I'm here. I have water. Hail hydrate. Amazing. Okay. We have 75 people in here. This is a lot of people for a stream night. So I feel like since we've been warming up for about an hour now, we might as well go ahead and move into some of our stuff today. We can start with some positive news, though. Let's find... I think I had some stuff that didn't suck. Bring back the chair. No, that chair don't look comfy. Yeah, I pulled this chair out of a dumpster, so it's not comfortable, like TBH. I have a chair on one of my wish lists, but I don't actually know what is true about chair comfort And I sit with like my legs up in my chair. And, you know, I don't sit like normal, which might be a problem in and of itself. So, I don't know. Anyway, let's try to find some good shit, and then we'll use the, looking at my notes to find the good shit, and that'll help us transition into talking about the news that sucks. Oh, let's clown on Blair. That sounds fun. Let's clown on Blair. So you all know the community notes function. Beanbag stream when. Let me just, tilt my camera down at the beanbag chair. That's what's going on back here. Is the answer to chair Papazon. Papazon chairs are so low down, they're so short to the ground. Reminds me of the stereotype of bisexuals not being able to sit normally. I think it's a neurodivergent thing. Anyway, I don't know why they made Ganondorf so hot. Blair White said, I just woke up from a horrible nightmare that society gave veterans who died for this country 1 day of celebration and LGBT people an entire month. Oh wait, that's really how backwards we are. Melting emoji. And then the community notes coming in with the 1-2 punch. May is Military Appreciation Month. This celebrates all active duty, veterans, and fallen soldiers. Congress designated May as National Military Appreciation Month in 1999 to ensure the nation was given the chance to publicly show their appreciation for troops past and present. So, also, we have Veterans Day. So, we have multiple holidays dedicated to servicemen. But also, I didn't know that May was Military Appreciation Month, but it is really funny. Jimmy Snow. Jimmy said, she's right. Let's switch to 3 months of pride and 0 days for dead veterans. They can't appreciate it anyway because they're dead. Oh, good grief. I fucking love the community notes feature. I didn't end up really looking into it aside because I just saw it on my timeline multiple times. But there was a guy recently who had photoshopped his face to look more like masculine and less baby face. And that in the community notes, people were like, he has altered his appearance for this photo, trying to celebrate his masculinity. Also, the military is celebrated basically every single holiday and sports event. Right. Isn't that the whole thing that people got so pissed off with Colin Kaepernick about? That he was like disrespecting the military by refusing to stand for the national anthem. So basically that's saying that the national anthem, every single time that we do that is an explicit acknowledgement of our veterans, right? Which means that at basically every football game, anytime you sing the national anthem, we're venerating the military. Oh yeah, Blair White, literally in the middle of Veterans Appreciation Month. Why don't appreciate the dead people more? Yeah, I saw that spiel, Decoy Duck, about like he crafted the kneeling in collaboration with a veteran who thought that was the most respectful way to do it. Veterans get fucked over just as hard as LGBT people. I don't want to hear any of these people bitching about holidays until they start getting homeless veterans off the street and give them better health care. They fucking fought for it. They deserve it more than any of us. Veterans are like children in that they are a group of people that the government can use to further their goals. Or like, not even the government, but like they're a rhetorical weapon that people use, but like in reality, they don't actually care for their needs, right? Like it's very gonna be clipped out of context. I know. Sometimes I'm in the middle of saying something and I'm like, I know that that's something that could be clipped. I need to add the neat emoji. EB sent it to me, and I just need to add it. It doesn't have the flash yet, though. I'm not sure how to give it, like, the flash. But, yes, the national anthem is a veneration of veterans, and if you say, oh, why are we doing this? Why are we spending money on XYZ when we have veterans at home that need to be taken care of? And it's like, well, why don't you take care of the veterans, and then maybe I'll actually believe you that that's a priority that you have. But people just say, oh, the veterans, just like they say, oh, the children, but they don't actually care about their interests. It's like if you actually cared about the well-being of children, then you would, you would vet fosterers more, and you would end the religious association with fostering and adoption, because that tends to be conducive to a lot of abuse. Maybe stop creating veterans with the wars. There are a lot of things that you could do if you actually cared about veterans or about children. But they don't. They just they're like invoking the idea of children or invoking the idea of veterans. But there's like a huge chunk of veterans who are homeless, right? Like, I don't know what the percentages are, but I'm pretty sure does it go both ways? Like, what percent of homeless in America are veterans? Over 1 in 10 homeless people in America are veterans. So like 10% of all homeless people in America are veterans. What percentage of veterans are homeless? Okay, that's the same statistic. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing the reverse statistic, but yeah, like 10% of something around 9 or 13% of homeless people in the United States are veterans. True, exactly, Mama Mephistopheles. It's that fuck off, we're full, I'm starving, fuck off comic, but instead of a child, it's veterans. Also annoying that there's an ignoring the overlap of queer veterans. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's always the overlap. Helping all homeless people would be good for everyone, including LGBTQ people and veterans. Right. I mean, and there's more than just homelessness that is a problem for veterans. Healthcare is not great for veterans. Even active service members, sometimes healthcare is not great for them. People play a lot of games with patriotism in the military. On the one hand, they praise the military. On the other hand, shameless shits like DeSantis criticize it for being woke. Yeah, you see those pictures lately of a bunch of like people of color and women of color, God forbid, in one photo of like military servicemen, and yeah, they're like, oh, look at our military, it's so weak, it's gone woke. The right wing projects a lot onto veterans and the military that isn't accurate. Many veterans are homeless. Many also end up in psych hospitals and drug rehab. High suicide rate with veterans, of course. Yeah, because you traumatize a bunch of people and then send them back without like a genuine debriefing and like de-radicalization or whatever you want to call it. There's a process that people would need to go through, and it's for sure not something that we pay enough attention to, Let me go ahead and add this to the thing because I forgot to do it earlier. Thank you so much, everybody who's hanging out. I appreciate you. We love talking about the news. We love talking about random bullshit here. If you're enjoying hanging out, of course, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, of course, make sure you subscribe, and you can click the bell for notifications. Or, if you really want to, you can join our Discord and get notifications that way. So that's like literally when we go live, I post the update, and that can be a little bit more reliable than YouTube notifications sometimes. So feel free to join us and chit-chat with us in there. I remember having a gay relationship and watching other soldiers who got caught not being straight getting kicked out. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, back in the day with Don't Ask, Don't Tell, like having to hide your sexuality or... Yeah, exactly. Carlin said it best. Conservatives want live babies so they can train them to be dead soldiers. It's so, do you ever feel like the futility of everything when you remember that George Carlin was saying these things like 40 years ago during his stand-up? And you're just like, oh no. It's like, is it Sisyphus? Who is it? What is his name with the boulder? He just keeps pushing the boulder, and then it fucking rolls down, and then he has to get up again, and he's like pushing the boulder up the hill. That's Sisyphus, right? Yeah. It's Sisyphean. Yeah, I had my Greek knowledge up on top. I love everybody's very unique spellings of Sisyphus. Sissy boy. Literally almost both a PS5 for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Oh, and Ratchet and Clank. Nice, and then they're both coming to PC. Amazing. Siassification. What's up, Nuanal? He's a Chad in Hades. I need to play Hades again. It was a great game, and I didn't get very far in it because I'm really not good at games like that. But I really enjoyed playing with the shield. And if you get the Zeus synergies, oh my god. The shield with the Zeus synergies, that was good nonsense. I feel like our parents just let all this crap keep going on, and Gen X didn't have the numbers to change anything. Zoomers are like Obi-Wan Kenobi, our only hope. Come on, Zoomers. I'm praying to the Zoomers to, like, help us get through. Sisyphus was punished for trying to cheat death twice. Yeah, I'm not invoking, like, the reason why Sisyphus was trapped in the cycle of pushing. What are we being punished for? You know? DeSantis volunteered to work in Guantanamo Bay and changed the force-feeding practices from being uncomfortable to torturous for those who are going on hunger strikes. I keep hearing about this, but I haven't looked into it at all, because I feel like I already know that DeSantis is a terrible person. Obi-Wan is millennials, Zoomers are Luke. Are we displacing our responsibility as the only hope onto the Zoomers? Sooners to replace boomers. Let's fucking hope, alright? Let's fucking hope. Anyway, let's see if there's anything, what else did I have on here? Get out of here. Oh, yo, there's a really adorable McDonald's commercial that we should watch. It's pretty wholesome. You know, I'm not a huge fan of big corporations, but I do appreciate some gay representation in a commercial, and since we're still in our first hour or so, we might as well watch one more, like, positive thing before we get into Texas bans drag in public, Kansas anti-trans bathroom law affecting cisgender women already, and, Florida's de facto anti-trans healthcare ban for adults. Adults are being restricted in Florida almost completely. Isn't Lux a fellow Zoomer? Yo, I was born in 1994. I am a millennial. I'm like, you know, people will say there's like some question about the edge of where millennial and Zoomer is, and there is a little bit of flexibility there. 94 is like the earliest Zoomers that I see. But the thing is that I was also poor, and I think that that puts me a couple years behind. Like, you know, I was not a Zoomer who grew up with a tablet in my hands, or like, you know, the technology was not quite there. Like, we couldn't afford that shit. I was still very much a played outside until I was 12 or 13 kind of kid. So, you know, I am more on the like millennial end for sure. Although I love and appreciate Zoomers, and I don't think that we're that different to each other, but there are definite differences between me and Zoomers. Like, I can tell, for sure. I can tell. I was born in 89. I'm Zoomy AF. God bless you, Charlotte. I think that you're doing the Steve Buscemi thing. I think you're doing Steve Buscemi, like, how do you do, fellow kids? It's almost like all these categories are meaningless. I actually don't think that they're meaningless, Decoy Duck. Like, I mean, yeah, generations are a lie, but I also do think that there is more than at any time in the past, there is a significant, like, difference in your experience if you are growing up with, like, a tablet as part of your parenting skills, or, like, if you didn't have a television growing up, you know? Yeah. Oh my god, I just tried to inhale my water. Generations are a descriptor of cultural differences. Some people don't grow up with electronics if they are raised rural, for instance. Yeah, I mean, it's a social construct, for sure. It has to do with, yeah, it's a cultural thing. what was going on in the world when you were growing up, like what, and those things influence what kind of person you become. Like if you grew up during the Great Depression, you would then probably pass on some of that trauma to your children, even though the economy got better after the Great Depression. You know, like your kids might be doing better than you were, but you are probably still going to pass on some of those habits around having been starving at some point in your past, you know? So like, as a person who was a child during the Great Depression, you are experiencing a certain thing in the economy and in that kind of stuff. We are almost a decade different in age, but of the same generation. Doesn't seem to make sense since culturally those were pretty different times. The delineation of what groups get put together is definitely something that could be called into question, but I think that the concept itself being that like the passage of time produces people who have different commonalities is still fairly legitimate, you know? Anyway, this is the kind of pontification that we do here. I try not to be too annoying asking for donos, but there are 86 people here, so I'm gonna say, hey, this is my full-time job. We are about to get into talking about the news here after we watch this wholesome McDonald's ad. So, you know, if you want to, there's Patreon, there's direct donations through my website. I appreciate it. I also appreciate shares and likes and everything. That's all cool. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you hanging out. So I'm gonna stop plugging and we're gonna watch this cute little commercial. We're going to enjoy it together. 84 people here. We're doing so well, y'all. Here's my goal is that by the end of the summer, I want to have streams like this can have like 100 people in them casually. We're not quite there yet. We're at a point where 84 is like a lot of people. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are growing as a community and I love it. It makes me so happy. Okay, let's watch a cute commercial. Shush, 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 shush. Here we go.
Hi! Welcome to McDonald's drive-thru.
Hi, isang cheeseburger, please.
With large fries and drink na po ba?
A la carte lang. Thank you.
So yeah, this girl is like going to McDonald's. And I think that
Hi, isang medium fries, please.
she comes back through for medium fries, and it's the same person working at the window.
Thanks ulit.
I love to eat my fries like that. Just like,
Large iced coffee original, please. Nauuhaw ako eh.
she said I got thirsty.
Ma'am, dessert niyo po.
Look at it.
Baka matunaw.
Like, hold on, she said it so fast.
Tunaw.
Like your sundae cone, I might melt with your stare. Look at this gay shit. It's so gay. Look at it. Ow! Oh my god. Listen, I am not a fan of rainbow capitalism, but listen, if that didn't make me absolutely lose it, I ate a Big Mac and now I fuck men. Oh my god, true. Girl got game. It's so cute. Yeah, oh, those glasses are adorable. The purple glasses. So, so, so cute. This is cute, but also McDonald's will not let you walk through a drive-thru. This is in a different country, so I think the rules might be different. They were not speaking English through that entire... We need more trans representation. True. I mean, I've seen some trans rep in advertisements. We had... What was it? Henry's Razors? Or maybe it was Gillette. It might have been Gillette that they put a transgender man. They were speaking in English for part of it. Yeah, for part of it. Was this in the Philippines? I'm not sure. I actually haven't seen the, like, source for where the video came from.
Welcome.
Shush, be quiet. And I also don't recognize the language. Oh, it is in the Philippines. Okay, yeah. They never allow skateboards in the drive-thru. Well, in the Philippines, they actually do. So it's drive-thru, trike-thru, skate-thru. As long as you have wheels, you can go through a drive-thru in the Philippines. She's on like a little kiddie trike thing, and she's like testing the rules of whether you're if you have wheels, then you can come through the thing. And like, yeah, it's like technically they went through the thing. That's pretty great. Hey, thank you so much. That guy who could with the $5 dono. I really appreciate that. Here's $5 to a based content creator. Have a 4 for 4 at Wendy's because I kind of like their food more. But still, this was wholesome gay shit. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate that. Right, I like Wendy's. I do love some Wendy's. They've changed some of their shit in the last couple years, so it's not quite as good. But I love me some Wendy's. It's fucking delicious. Y'all talked Target yesterday. Sorry, I was out getting laid. Sunglasses. Yeah, rub it in everybody's face. Mama Mephistopheles. Some of us out here struggling. Rip. I miss Jack in the Box. I haven't had Jack in the Box in years. I think it was like, oh, they finally made a Jack in the Box in Kansas City, and I went there once, maybe, because I worked in the area at the time. I'm currently eating Wendy's. Jack in the Box their advertisements are queer gold. There's queer advertisements from Jack in the Box on the regular. Okay. I got a second boyfriend, so my first boyfriend doesn't get lonely. We used to call Jack in the Box Jack in the Crack because of how addictive it was. Was that supposed to be like, it's highly addictive? Delicious. Didn't they get shut down for massive food poisoning? Listen, my partner got sick from chicken at Sonic multiple times. Oh my god. The allergies, there's just like stuff in my throat all the time right now. Wendy's has seasoned fries now. I didn't think they could get better, but they did. Didn't Wendy's at one point have like a ghost pepper French fry? It was like chili fries, but they were like ghost pepper flavored. I can't remember if I got some or if they took it out of the rotation before I ended up getting one. But I fucking love ghost peppers so much, y'all. If you ever find any ghost pepper products out in public, I have a P.O. box. DM me. I'll send you the P.O. box info so that you can send me the ghost pepper flavored whatever bullshit you find, because that's fucking delicious. Did you know about the mom hidden in the Wendy's logo? I did. It's in her collar. Like, her collar has the word mom in cursive kind of like hidden inside of it. Duplicitous marketing. They closed down all the Jack in the Boxes in my city. I don't think they're doing too hot. Oh, rough. Ooh, whatever floats your boat says I'm growing ghost peppers in my garden. Oh, that's exciting. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I've had ghost peppers straight up from a friend of ours who was growing ghost peppers. And I really, really want to get into it. Thank you so much, Shade, for the tier 1 sub gifted to Diaphla. I see a white name and I want it painted green. No colors anymore. They have all turned green. Only green forever. Thank you so much, Shade. I really appreciate your donos. Every little bit counts. Every $5 dono. Every dollar on Patreon. It is definitely useful to me. Thank you so much. Jack was based in the 90s. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get my earbuds. My earphones. Goodness gracious. I got new earbuds, and I'm trying to, like, get used to the fact that I genuinely have to pay attention to which one's on the left and which one's on the right. It's not something I'm good at. Gotta get more practice. Okay, what is this?
Jack, how do you know if you're a lesbian?
Did you have a question?
No.
Don't be afraid to talk about burgers. Okay, I'll start. Even though my Jumbo Jack is just 99 cents, it's still a great burger. Big and juicy and hot, because we won't make it till you order it. That's where I'm coming from.
Thanks. That helps.
What? Okay. I feel like that was edited. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a 26-second spot. I don't know how long commercials used to be. Earbuds imply the existence of eye buds, nose buds, hand buds, and foot buds. You really made me... Oh, you know what? I do have this one. These are broken, so I can do it and it's not gross. Like, nosebuds? Nosebuds? But what's it for? Like, is it transmitting sound into my nose? Or is it like... Is it smell-o-vision? Oh, this has got to be how we'll do smell-o-vision someday, right? Exactly, yes. It's just clickbait for the thumbnails. Delicious. It could have been after the Ellen episode where being a lesbian on TV was suddenly okay. My family watched that episode live, literally the only episode of Ellen I ever saw. What was did people know that she was gonna come out as a lesbian? Or was it a surprise? It's a Hitler look. Abort, abort. Alright, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. You can't give out only one random gift sub. I thought that you could. Or do you have to pick the person when you give only one sub? I'm not sure. I've never done it before. TBH. With the nosebuds, you look like you're about to go walking in the sands of Dune. Jiminy Christmas. Apparently Ellen is a huge jerk. This is like the narrative now. Oh, we have over 100 likes. Amazing. That's great. Let's get to 100 viewers. That's what I want. The more likes we get, the more viewers we get. That's my current streamer goal. I just want 100 viewers. Nobody knew she was gay. Oh no, I mean, I knew that nobody knew she was gay for a long time, and then she came out and everybody was like, oh my god. And then apparently she's a huge dickball to everybody who comes on to the show. Anyway, drink some water. Let's get into the politics now, because we've been hanging out for over an hour. What do we want to talk about first? Do we want to do the title? Do we want to do the Texas drag thing first? Or Kansas or Florida? Texas or Kansas or Florida? Take your pick. Yeah, even gay people can be assholes. It's truly a diverse time. I'm frantically Googling right now to find the story the title is based on. Well, let's go ahead and just fucking do the Texas one. The worst fuck, marry, kill list. I know. Florida, worst one first. I don't know how you can quantify which one is worst, because they're all pretty bad. Thank you so much, Ferret Girl. I really appreciate the $10 dono. Thank you so much. Y'all are being so generous today, and it's amazing. Hell yes. Do we want to set a reward for the stream goal today? I could flex for it. Do we want to do that? Excuse me, I don't know if I can take the Texas one without a warm-up. I need a lube for this. We want to see the flex? That could be the thing. I thought we were getting ront. Thank you, Miss Shade, so much for the gifted tier 1 sub to Prosy Rosie. Another one bites the dust. A dooba 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 doop. Another one bites the dust. I'm on mobile. How do you donate? On mobile, I don't know. Are you on the website? Because if you're on the website, I think it's in the drop-down menu on the top left. I'm totally not sure though. Because again, I don't really use the website on mobile. I mostly just use it on my computer. There. I'll show off my body if we get to the stream goal today. It's annoying doing it because it minimizes stream on mobile. Okay, apparently it's obnoxious if you try to do it on mobile. At least Kansas voted to keep abortion that one time. My city just voted 75% to keep chokeholds legal and weed illegal. Oh, that's a fucking bummer. Living in Texas sucks. I will accept a flex if we're doing the Texas first. Okay, I gotta get rid of some of these notifications real quick. Okay. Alright, you know, let's do, oh god. Okay. Let's do Kansas first. We'll do Kansas first, because I feel like that one's gonna be relatively easy to get through. relatively easy to get through. Rotsoy with a tier 1 sub gifted to Loves Aliens. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe. Please let me believe. I want to believe. Oh my gosh, 38. Y'all are being crazy today. The Lux Flex. On mobile, I have YouTube Premium. YouTube Premium is where it's at. Oh my gosh. I highly support people getting YouTube Premium. More like Can's ass. Am I right? Oh my god, that's true. So y'all know how I live in Kansas and how they recently passed a law here to make it illegal for me to use public restrooms, or at least make it wildly less safe for me to use public restrooms without scrutiny and additional difficulty. Well, so the law is not even supposed to go into effect until July 1st. So, you know, yay for that. But it is already affecting people because, as is the case, not infrequently. I mean, the purpose of such a law is not really to actually criminalize using the wrong bathrooms, because if they actually wanted to specifically criminalize it, they would have actually wrote something in that illustrated how it was a crime and like outlined some of the punishments for it, but they didn't do that. So really the purpose is just to increase the harassment and public tension around trans people and gender nonconforming people using bathrooms. Thank you so much for the $5 from P to G. Treat yourself a Happy Meal. Ooh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I usually when I have a little bit extra money, what I do is I get Chipotle, but sometimes it's McDonald's. But it's like, oh man, Chipotle, man, you cannot argue with the Chipotle. Amazing. And we know that this is primarily going to affect cisgender women, you know, who are not 100% gender conforming. That's because there are way more cisgender women who are gender nonconforming than there are trans people who would be going to the women's restroom. You know, there are just way more of those people on just the raw numbers. So the likelihood that a cisgender woman is going to end up in some kind of problem in this situation is more likely. And there are plenty of other situations where, like, for example, if you have a child who you need to take care of and who needs to enter the bathroom with you, or in some other cases, Veronica Fox, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Vivi. Something in their summer clothes. It's summer dress season. Oh my god, it's sundress season, you all. Oh, listen. I need more dresses. I need to add more dresses to my... I actually have a list on my Amazon that has a bunch of dresses and stuff on it. I need more sundresses because it is that time of year. Sundresses are so amazing. Oh my god. Continuing the Paint Them Green theme. I know, we are doing like a Mayo side today. Mayo side in the chat. I'm so enthused. Thank you all so much. Seriously. Where are the moon dresses? I actually have a moon sundress. I'll wear it in my next, like, Fansly set if you want. I guess, like, I don't know. It's not the cutest cut of a dress, but it's a cute design on the dress, so. Honestly, gender nonconformity for women is nearly impossible to avoid. Even if the traddiest of tradwife influencers out there, you could easily pick them apart and find unfeminine qualities. You know, if the scrutiny is high enough, then there's gonna be an issue for people who are like, oh, you're too tall, or your jawline is too manly, or some bullshit like that. But yeah, no, I was gonna lead into the next thing, because yeah, if you have children, that's one thing. But here's another situation where a bathroom ban like this is negative for people. There is a cisgender woman with a disabled son who tried to use the restroom at the Wichita Public Library, and she claims that she was ordered to leave the restroom at the Central Branch Library after taking her nonverbal and disabled adult son into the bathroom with her. Kansas recently banned people from using bathrooms and other spaces not designated for their assigned birth sex, which is obviously a law plainly targeted at trans and intersex women, but also is useful for keeping disabled people and their opposite sex carers at bay. This is the kind of thing, like, this is why it's not cool for these laws to pass as quickly as they're passing and without scrutiny, because there are situations like this, which there are plenty of people who could have brought this to their attention, but they deliberately, hold the meetings at inconvenient times or at the last minute so that there aren't as many people who can come in and say, excuse me, no, this would negatively affect my family. And I'm not even trans, here's how your anti-trans law is negatively impacting other stuff. Yeah, gift subs count for the dono bar. I added the last one, didn't I? It took us up to 48. Yeah? Yeah. All of the site donos count for the thing. Right-wingers see no problem with this because it's another undesirable out of the public. I don't know if they would have an issue with this. If someone had brought this to their attention beforehand, and I don't know if someone did, is this the kind of thing that they would have even cared about? Or is that the case? That, oh, we don't care if your disabled son can't use the bathroom without assistance. Or is the expectation that a woman and her disabled son should go to the men's room? But no, she would be probably removed from the bathroom in that case. Actually, it's not clear in this article. Excuse me. It's not clear in this article whether... Okay, yeah, no, here it is. Karen Wild said that she makes a trip every week to this library. She, never once in this time has any of the library staff or patrons objected to her bringing her son into the women's restroom. But shortly after entering with her son on Saturday, a male security guard approached the restroom and informed her that Dunville couldn't be there. The disabled son couldn't be there. He walked away, she said, once it became clear that another patron was using the restroom, but that person also objected to her son's presence. So I guess, this male security guard entered the female restroom. We talked about this recently when we covered that video of the cisgender lesbian getting ejected from the bathroom by male police officers, that, male police officers entering female-only spaces to violently eject, in some cases, masculine women. Or, in this case, he didn't actually physically make them go away. He left the restroom after it became clear that there was yet another woman in the restroom who didn't want men in the restroom. And of course, no patrons have ever said anything about her disabled son being in the bathroom before, but on this one instance, the other patron in the restroom also said that, her son shouldn't be in there. So, if you have a 9-year-old son who is not quite confident enough to walk into a bathroom by himself if he needs a little extra help, if you have a disabled son, I guess you have to go into the male bathroom as a female, or suck it up, son, have fun in there, making a mess and not being able to do the procedure correctly ostensibly is why you have someone with you in the bathroom in the first place. Or stay home, which again is ultimately kind of the point of all of these laws restricting public access. When we have laws targeting public drag and public access to restrooms and things like that, the point of it is to make it so that there aren't public spaces for you to be in, that you stay home, or that you desist being what you are so that you can at least if you're in public, then we don't want to know about you. You need to be completely ignorable. You need to be completely non-persona. We don't want to know. We don't want to listen to you. We don't want to think about you. I would have asked the security guard to help him since I legally couldn't if I were the mother. Yeah, so you don't want me to bring my adult son who's disabled into the bathroom. Well, why don't you take him into the men's restroom and you can wipe his ass? Why don't you do it then? Oh, you don't want to? Okay, well, maybe shut the fuck up then and leave me alone. I have OAB, and if someone tells me to leave the restroom, I'm just gonna piss myself. Yo, that would be fucking hilarious. 90 viewers there for a second. Yeah, we blipped for a second. The stream is doing hot. It's hot in here. I'm excited. They don't really care about women except as receptacles and vessels. Truly. There was a mask-presenting woman on TikTok who lives in Florida and has children. She had a child taken away from her and to my knowledge hasn't gotten the child back or even been able to see them. She's having to move out of Florida with her kids so she doesn't have another kid taken away, and it's really sad. She's a cis woman, to clarify. I haven't heard about that demon. If there's a link, then please send it to me so that I can cover it. Like the idea that just if you are presenting masculine as a cisgender woman, that's a threat of you being trans enough to have your kids taken away, I guess. Is that what the thing is? Yeah, and I guess that's another question, y'all. Is this an ADA violation? Because the woman... Oh my gosh, that was really loud in my ear. Thank you, Zuki Snooki, for the $12 dono. I appreciate you bringing us up to an even number, because that was making me itch a little bit too. Thank you so much. Like, is her being the carer for this disabled man, does that make it so that this is an ADA violation? Like saying you're not allowed to use this restroom? And it bothers me, like, security guard, you're a security guard. You're not even a policeman. And why are you enforcing the law? This is literally a rent-a-cop. I guess I don't know what the protocol is for hiring security at a public library. Like, is that a state employee? I guess he is a state employee, but his job is to provide security at the location, not to enforce the law that hasn't even come into effect yet. We still have a month, a little bit more than a month, for the ACLU to come in and say, hey, no, you don't get to do this to people. Does that mean that cis women can't change the diapers of their cis male children in public bathrooms now? I don't actually know. The law was not written very well, so it could be possible that if you were to read into its furthest technicalities, that you would maybe not be allowed to bring your, penised son into the bathroom even to change his diaper. Have there been any updates on the ACLU? Have they challenged the law yet? I haven't checked, actually. Kansas bathroom law, ACLU. ACLU condemns legislators' veto override. April 27th is the most recent news on this subject. Let me see. Isn't it deeper than that? They, the fascists, don't want cis people to be gender nonconforming either. Supporters of the anti-trans stuff mostly see it as a bonus to suppress GNC people. I mean, yeah, we have talked about that recently on stream. It is clear that there is some motivation to restrict generally the idea of cross-dressing. And, yeah, like what they do want is for there to be full conformity on this gender binary in all aspects of life. Fundamentally, these are the people who want women wearing dresses in the kitchen with a petticoat and they're barefoot, and they're popping out babies all day, and they don't leave the house, and they're drugged up all the time, because that's the only way that these women who did used to live that lifestyle, the only way that they could get through it was to be drugged all the time. And then men are out there breaking their bodies, and like dealing with bad workplace environments and coming home and being alcoholics and beating their wives. Like, this is what they want. That's what they, when they're like, wow, the 50s was a great time. Like, that's what they imagine. They have to provide reasonable accommodations. I don't think that there have been any updates about the ACLU. They have condemned the law back on April 27 when it passed, when the veto happened and everything. So, yeah, the new law will apply to Initially, the House did not have the votes to override. They did the override anyway. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm assuming that they're gonna sue. I don't know if they are, though. I'm really, I would guess at this point that the ACLU is getting kind of spread thin, because they have numerous lawsuits in numerous states across the country, and because there isn't a clear criminality built into the Kansas law, it's possible that as far as bathroom laws go, despite the fact that this one is far-reaching enough that it could also impact one's ability to change the gender on your driver's license, it might not be like the highest priority, which is like an unfortunate thing to think about, being like, oh yeah, well, it's Kansas, and maybe you wouldn't do well in the courts here. Like, I don't know how many of these cases are being taken partially based on like whether you'll be successful at litigating them. They can't legally deny him access to the library because of his disability. They have a separate lawsuit there. They would have to make another bathroom available or provide him assistance. I'm curious if this is going to end up being a lawsuit. I bet that she would have an easy time of it because there is the clear ADA violation that, you know, maybe like many of these other laws, they aren't necessarily going to be struck down because of the explicit discrimination against trans people aspect of it. Like the laws against trans kids having access to healthcare, the most strong argument that can be made legally is the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which says you have to treat everyone legally under the law. And so therefore, if you say that this medicine is acceptable for use on intersex children and children with precocious puberty, then you can't deny other people the same medication because of just like, because like it either has to be accessible to everyone whose doctor says it's needed, or it can't be accessible to anyone no matter what the medical consensus is. You know, like you can't pick and choose one or the other. So, you know, it might not even be a thing where it comes down to this is sex discrimination or whatever. Like it might not even be about trans people specifically. So similar case here, it may be that this law in particular isn't even challenged primarily by a trans person or otherwise gender nonconforming person. Like it could be that it being a clear ADA violation might be the thing that gets it struck down, which is unfortunate, but sometimes you have to pick the strongest argument when you're challenging a case like this, and you might acknowledge some of the secondary reasons during your legal argument, but there are going to be certain aspects of it that are just there's more clarity in the law around disability. I have zero faith that any Trump-appointed judge will give a flying fuck about basic legal arguments. It's going to come down to who is the judge. Right. It's going to come down to who is, yeah. And like where you file the case and who it gets appealed through. That's one of the decisions that these legal organizations have to make, is they have to choose which district they're going to file their lawsuit in based on like, you know, what the successes and precedents have been like in that. Thank you so much, Silent Partner. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That puts us at the goal mark for today. Look at that. Oh, I love it when numbers go up. Brr. That's amazing. I guess that means that I have to flex now, but we'll wait until after the segment, okay? Exactly. An individual judge might care about disabilities. He may have some health issues himself, because judges are old and have incontinence issues. Or, you know, you could have someone who just like has a disabled person in their family and is aware of that and happy to sort of help on those grounds. Because while you're trying to litigate trans people's existence out of public life, you are going to have a bunch of tertiary damage that's done that you probably didn't consider or think about, and it just like you have to use those to exploit an individual caring about that issue, because unfortunately I don't think we have enough people who work for the government who are on our side. We need more of those people, or we need to capitalize on the fact that, you know, like I say, every time we're talking about this bathroom issue, cisgender women are the group who are going to be most affected by this bathroom policing. So it's, you know, ooh, I think that was thunder. That was very loud. So maybe you want to get a female judge who has short hair, and maybe she would be amenable to the argument that, you know, well, Your Honor, the reason why these laws are not good is because it increases scrutiny, and would Your Honor like to be stopped before you enter the restroom and questioned and have your ID requested before you use a public restroom? Like, you know, you can kind of play on that a little bit. Get an intersex judge. True, yeah. More intersex justices. We need more of them. Fun fact, when Germany divided post-World War II, East Germany removed all the Nazi-appointed judges, but West Germany did not. The latter was a major point for radical left movements in Germany in the 80s. I did not know that. It seems like that would be the obvious thing to do. But then again, you know, we're in America and Trump appointed a bunch of ideological judges, and, you know, we're not impeaching any of the ones who are making obvious wrongdoings like Clarence Thomas. Will the real Soros-backed judges please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Is it Mr. or Mrs.? It's Your Honor. True. I love that once you get to that point of high society where the honorifics stop being gendered. That's pretty psyched. You know, it's like Doctor, Your Honor, Mr. President. No, that's the wrong one. I went the complete opposite direction and picked one that was very gendered because words just came out of my mouth. Dr. Decoy Duck. True, yes. Congrats again. Themperor, my liege, Professor, Your Majesty, Your Grace. These are all good options. First Laddie. Dr. Ben got commissioned as a captain in the army, so now he's Captain Dr. Ben. Shame he's not non-binary. True. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen with this situation in particular, whether she is going to sue and get her very easy ADA case money, and whether the challenging of this law is going to be successful. I certainly hope so, because as we've talked about it before, you know, I was assigned female at birth, and so that's the bathroom that this law is saying that I should use in every public space. But I am a non-binary person who is visibly gender ambiguous, and that means that the female restroom is going to be the space where there is more scrutiny on me. And so realistically, the only safe option for me to do, except for using the non-binary, like when there's a gender-neutral disabled bathroom available, I use that one. But in a case where there's no such option, the safest thing for me to do is to break the law and use the men's restroom. Because if I talk, people are going to hear this and they might not be like okay with me being in the female restroom. Whereas if I go into the men's restroom, it might be a little bit easier to accept a voice like mine. Not that people talk that much in public restrooms, but that's the thing about transphobic weirdos is there are rules in the bathroom about not fucking bothering people and not talking to people, and people are still gonna do it. Like, they're gonna do it more. Madam President is such a weird gendering of a theoretically neutral term. True. So yeah, it's not gonna be good. It's already not good. The law is not even in effect, and people are already weaponizing it against marginalized and vulnerable people. So yeah, buckle up, motherfuck. Like, let's see how this goes over the next couple of months. Fingers crossed that my right to exist in public spaces doesn't actually end up more limited than it currently is. Yay. It helps to have a routine and go to the same places. Let the cis people get used to you and you have fewer problems. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I just kind of like don't talk to people in public, and so I pass as like a sporty female because I wear a sports bra a lot of the time. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Don't talk to me in the ladies' room unless you're drunk. It's the one time. Drunk girls in bathrooms. They're your savior sometimes. Moderators at the bathroom. Show us your genitals. You have to be this cis to pass. You shall not pass. No trannies allowed. Imagine if we as a culture had eliminated the gendering of bathrooms and sports decades ago. This movement would not have nearly as much success now. Yeah, but that would be considered too crazy political right-wing. Like, oh my god, you don't even care about women's rights. This is the difficult thing, is if you try to advocate for trans people and the de-gendering of spaces, people think, oh my god, you want women to be victimized by men. as though the sign on the bathroom door is a magical ward that for the past my entire lifetime of 30 years has been like magically keeping men away from the women's room. Like men who want to victimize women, they've just magically not been permitted to walk through. They try to walk through the doorway and the sign on the door like lights up with an eerie ominous glow, and the man just like instantly his eyes roll in the back of his head and he collapses foaming at the mouth and is no longer like is brain dead from that point. Like, what do people think has been happening for the past all of the decades that we've been alive? They're like vampires. They need to be invited. Exactly. Bathrooms got that Hogwarts gender segregation magic. You know what's really funny? That they had that magic on the doors of the oh god, what are they called? It's like from the common room and then up to the dormitories, I guess is what you would say. They had the no boys allowed up the girls' steps, but girls are allowed up the boys' steps. But the bathrooms didn't have that charm on them because they enter a girl's bathroom like Voldemort did back when he was in school. He entered the girls' bathroom and killed Moaning Myrtle. And that's how you got into the Chamber of Secrets. And then obviously, like, Harry and Ron later. Does it say Harry took a bath in the girls' bathroom? I thought it was a bath in the prefect's bathroom because it was more private. Like, Percy gave him access to the, to that bathroom. Why do I know so much about Harry Potter? God, I want to purge all of this knowledge from my mind. The prefect's bathroom was literally unigender. Yeah. Okay, so I did remember it correctly. I hate that I know this information. It's almost like Hogwarts is badly written and designed. Yeah, you would assume that the person who wrote it just came up with some shit and didn't bother to make sure it was internally consistent. Isn't it so fucked up that you don't get to bathe if you aren't a school cop? They sort of don't acknowledge the question of whether there are baths elsewhere. Are there showers in the bathroom? Yeah, gasp. Also, Rotsoy points out that the prefect's bathroom being non-gendered is a big gasp moment. Harry gets access to the prefect's bathroom after he becomes Quidditch captain. I thought it was that Percy specifically let him in there. Being a Quidditch captain is equivalent in status in Hogwarts to being a prefect who is appointed by the teachers to be like the hallway cop. I've read several stories where there are showers, but those stories weren't canon. I guess I would have to go back and watch, like, Chamber of Secrets and find out if there were showers in that expansively large girl's bathroom. Yeah, it's like actual college. Sports elevate your status above all else. Like, the actual bullies end up getting big trophies in the glass case kind of thing. He became a captain in 5th or 6th year. But it was, yeah, the 4th book where he was in the prefect's bathroom. So Percy was like, maybe you should go... Or no. Yeah, it was that... What's-his-face from Hufflepuff said that you should go put it in the bath or something. And then Percy gave him access to the prefect's bath. Good God. See, this is why Worst Witch is far superior to Harry Potter. At least the lore is consistent throughout the whole book series. Dickory diggory. Dickory diggory doe. The entire idea that the law protects anyone is just legalizing transphobic beliefs about femme and masc presentations. It rationalizes that everyone is binary and thus only makes sense in a world where everyone is binary extremes of gender and that we aren't mostly the same looking in most cases. So much of sex characteristics are all socialized. I mean, yeah, how many men have big titties, but they don't wear a bra and their tits aren't sexualized? Like, it's a social You're treating the same body part and of course, like, the development of the actual breast tissue is different, but still. Height is tied to expectations on cis women, and weight, for sure. Like, if you're a big fatty, even though you have big old tits, you're still considered less feminine than a skinny woman who has smaller breasts than you. So even, like, the literal secondary sex characteristic of having big breasts is, like, an issue if you are otherwise fat. If you're skinny and you have big titties, then yeah, that's a good thing. If you're skinny and you have small titties, that's, like, not a great thing, but it's also not as bad as being fat with big titties, you know? And I'm not saying that I personally believe that that is true, but that's, like, society. Even having large feet is an issue if you're assigned female. It's proven that the height gap in women versus men is less in places where women aren't socialized to stay skinny. Oh, I'm sure that there's a malnutrition aspect of it, Violet, for sure. You know, people who are malnourished don't ever get as tall. So if you're in a culture where it is normal for 10-year-old girls, like 80% of 10-year-old girls in the United States have tried some kind of diet, and a shockingly high number of young women and young girls have resorted to, like, vomiting to control their weight. And, like, I apologize, anybody who has an eating disorder. This is the kind of thing that I guess you should content warning a little bit before you talk about. But, like, yeah, it's an issue. Oh, yeah, Demon, you said you linked something in spicy sharing links. Let me just open this so that I can check it out later. This is not generally the place in the Discord server where I find links for stream. That's the stream recommendations, which is a little lower down. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, what was this about? Okay. This Florida thing. Okay, pause. Okay, thank you. I'll get back to that in a minute. Thank you very much. So yeah, we did our little ACLU Kansas bathroom laws segment. Let me get the link to this and put it in my notes. What is today? The 29th? Is today the 29th? No, it's today the 30th. I don't remember what day it is. Okay, Kansas disabled bathroom. We got links. Smegment. I know it's the 30th because rent is due on Thursday. Yeah, I just got the little email reminder today to pay rent. Like, oh, alright, I'll fucking pay the rent. I should probably just do it tonight while I'm thinking about it. Good grief. I'm gonna need to get some more water, y'all. We've had such a solid stream. More 10-year-olds than you would think have tried many types of drugs. Yeah, I mean, yes. Yes, that's... yeah. I'm in Florida for work training. I thought I broke the law today. Because of which bathroom you used? Oh my god, that's terrifying. Your Harry Potter knowledge puts you firmly in the millennial category. See? I knew it. I know, yeah, the bathroom... Oh, so even in Florida, the bathroom bill doesn't kick in until July 1st. Yeah, listen, I cannot in good conscience give you the advice that you should use the wrong bathroom for you. Like, I also, like, I don't know whether I'm really allowed to use my platform to say you specifically should break the law and use the wrong... Like, you should use the bathroom that you want to use, whether or not it's legal. You know, like, that is what I personally think, but I also don't know if it's explicitly okay for me to use my platform to say that you should. So I'll just say, like, you know, that's what be gay, do crime means. It means when your regular human existence is criminalized, it's not like saying, if you're a homosexual, go out there and do crimes, but So it's saying like, yeah, if you are criminalized in your fundamental existence, then you must continue to exist, and therefore like you must do crime. Like you have to be a crime and do a crime because they imposed that on you. This is what the whole concept of constructed crime is. What is considered legal and what's considered a crime and what's not considered a crime is constructed and made up by people who don't really care about you. True, exactly, Mama. I just want to say, like, I just want to eradicate going to the wrong bathroomism from public life. I just want to eliminate transphobia from public life. I just think that we should make it so shameful. Existence is resistance. Remember what happened to Nikita Dragon? I don't want to read more stories like hers. She was released, wasn't she? She was arrested and housed in a male prison. But like, yeah, I can't. Yes, there are going to potentially be consequences. That's the thing. You have to be careful. If you are planning on resisting this law and using the bathroom that you decide you want to use, you know, you have to acknowledge that there are potentially going to be ramifications for that. Which is why some people say like, oh, well, then I'm just going to piss outside because the crime of public urination has less of a punishment attached to it than these places where they're increasingly making it a sex crime to use the bathroom. Yeah, it's crazy, Shade, how rapidly this happened. Oh, thank you, Robin, so much for being a patron, and I'm so proud that you have started hormone replacement therapy. That's awesome. I plan on suing the state if that happens. Oh, if you get arrested, you plan on suing the state? I mean, good fucking luck. It's Florida. Pissing outside is kind of punk and hot, though. I mean, it's about, like, relative punishments, you know? And if you're in the bathroom and you know that you're gonna get charged with a sex crime, then it's like, well, maybe I will assault this person who's bothering me in the bathroom because I'm already gonna go to jail one way or another. Like, I don't know. Yes, public urination can also be considered a sex crime in some circumstances. It's like, how intense of a sex crime is it, though? You know, like, I'm just saying, there are some folks who have looked into it and would say, like, okay, well, public urination is literally less of a crime in my area as far as what punishments. Like, maybe it is still considered a sex crime, but maybe, like, it's just a lesser degree of jail time or whatever. Bring a lawyer with you into the washroom. Maybe don't use the bathroom in Florida. If it's classified as a sex crime there, Florida might execute you. Yeah, keep in mind that that's the other aspect of this too. Making it a sex crime means that they can then prosecute you like they would prosecute a pedophile, and then if they want to make the death sentence legal for pedophiles, then they will do that, and then, okay, then you're a pedophile who is getting executed because you used the bathroom, you know? Piss your pants and sue Florida for denying you access to a bathroom. Fair enough. Oh boy, so I think that the next topic we're gonna run into, I feel like I ended the segment and then I still had a bunch of stuff to say about bathrooms, so I don't know how long that segment is actually gonna end up being when I edit it. Oh my god, I have so much editing to catch up on. But yeah, so we have two other main stories to talk about tonight. There's the Texas one and Florida's de facto ban on adult health care, but I'm gonna definitely need to run and grab more water before I get into that segment. I'm confident my company would help me fight Florida. Sure, I mean, yeah, like, do what you are willing to do, yeah, but keep in mind that if they do legalize the whole, like, they were wanting to change the requirements for how many votes on the jury are required to apply the death sentence to a sex criminal. So you just need to be careful of the fact that, you know, it might not just be a misdemeanor or a fine or jail time. It might be like execution is what you're up against. So just be cautious and keep tabs on what's going on for sure. You know, one way that you can keep tabs on what's going on in Florida is by subscribing. I don't really mean to be that annoying. That was just a really, it was a good moment. Goodness gracious. Using the dressing room in a store. Oh wait, are you saying that to use the dressing room in the store as a bathroom? I mean, that's certainly one way to resist. It's so hard because I don't want to resist in ways that make the workers put out. Because, like, if you take a shit in a Target dressing room or something, like, who's going to have to clean that up, you know? Realistically, it's going to be some fucker who's making $10 an hour and, like, really shouldn't have to be dealing with human feces. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta run and grab some more water. My throat's getting really dry. I'll be back momentarily. If you haven't drank water in a while, maybe you should. Maybe you fucking should. Okay, babes. Okay, Horties, we're back. Did Lux just bully me into drinking water? You bet your ass. Bet your ass. That's what happens when you don't have a bathroom. Instead of a sit-in, you get a shit-in. Wow, okay, I mean, I can't argue with your branding on that, Mersh. That's pretty solid branding. It's good. Kwame Tira said that the only way to live a good life is to fear nothing. Sometimes fear is a totally justified emotion. You know, if you don't want to die, then it's totally normal to be afraid of COVID because COVID will kill you. So, you know, like, if there is a serial killer stalking your neighborhood, then there's a good justifiable reason to be afraid of walking to your car at night. You know, did I miss the Texas part? Nope, you have not missed the Texas part, Amalgam. We will be covering it shortly. We finished covering Kansas anti-trans bathroom law just now, which is relevant because that's where I live. Me and my transgender sibling live in fucking either Kansas or Missouri and have to deal with varying degrees of bullshit. Man, it sucks. But yeah, so Texas we still need to discuss, and another item from Florida. So do we want to do Texas first? Since that's the title. So like Texas, you know, drag ban being widespread, and then Florida making it basically impossible to access, and like definitely interrupting a bunch of adults' access to care. Let's get Texas out of the way. The suspense is killing me. Okay, can we end on good news? I can try. I already covered some good news stuff at the beginning of the stream, so maybe we can do some other good news that I don't have currently lined up. Florida first, I guess. Okay, let's talk about Texas first. Let me get it pulled up here. Ba-ba-ba-bum, Opening and closing with good news seems like a good way to do things, TBH. A lot of the time we end up having another chill wind down session after we finish covering the news. And that's usually, it's still very unstructured. But it's another generally like hangout section, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we stop on good news on my stream, which might be something we should do more. I know a lot of the times when like Demon Mama gets to the end of a high intensity politics stream, she'll do gaming for a couple of hours, but Demon Mama also streams for fucking 8 hours or longer, and I can't do that. Like I don't have enough energy to do that. Yeah. I wore high heels with my manly hat and felt euphoria. NB life is a good life. I know, right? I've got my long hair and my short hair and my femme top that comes across really androgynous when I'm wearing it, you know? It's good stuff. We're living the life. If you're enjoying hanging out and if you're ready to start talking about Florida, hit the like button, please. Consider sharing the stream because we want more people in here. And, you know, Patreon and all that shit if you feel like it. But we're about to get started. Oh, I didn't ever flex earlier, did I? I got distracted because we were still talking about Kansas, and we talked about Kansas for a really long time, and I didn't flex, which was the reward for getting to the stream goal. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll fix that. Can't stay long, but drive to like, thank you, Fox. Karate shirt? It looks like a karate shirt. I mean, it's supposed to be like a feminine drapey top, you know? Like, it's supposed to be like boobies, you know what I mean? But anyway, oh, you know, let me get my hair up front here. There we go. This is good stuff. We enjoy. I'm gonna stop getting bigger for a while, but instead of getting bigger, I'm gonna get, just more lean, hopefully. So, like, hopefully the muscles will stick out more. Oh man, that was good. Yeah. Left arm's getting some definition back behind here. Beautiful. Oh my god. Such flex. And my forearms are getting a little bit bigger because I play my piano all the goddamn time. Beautiful. We flexin'. We flexin'. Maybe a Shenron emote? It would be so tiny. Is it like only person? The back. Oh, yep, the back muscles. Getting them in there. Beautiful. Okay, anyway. Now that I've shown off my body for money. I'm a trans man and I really want to get some skirts because fuck toxic masculinity, but I don't want to give people more reason to misgender me. Yeah, listen, it's not at all uncommon for trans guys to need to wait a little while before they get back into that femininity. Or, I mean, sure, probably for trans girls too. If you want to be like a butch trans woman, maybe you lean into the femininity for a couple years while you're struggling to pass, and then when you start passing more, then you can sort of break the gender norms a bit. But yeah, it gets easier later on. Thank you, Mama. You're for real my workout inspiration. Yes. We all have different goals, and that is a good thing. Your dragon is on all fours and has 6 wings or 8. My dragon only has 2 wings. It only has 2 wings. Or I guess it would be cool to have a secondary, not a secondary wing set, but like a secondary skin flap. Anyway, that's a totally different thing. That's a club top for me. Yeah, I mean, this is, it's like a flirty femi top. Anyway, we had 90 viewers again for a split second there. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out here. Hit like really quick because this is my streamer goal for the summer is I want to have 100 viewers on my streams on a regular basis, and we're so close to getting there. I guess on a regular basis we're still working our way there, but we are about to start talking about Texas. So come in, get cozy, hit the like button, get ready to get fucking mad because that's what it's time for. It's time to get fucking butthurt. I got misgendered for the first time in like a month today. But the dude was 80 and knew me for the past 7 years. Oh, fair enough, right? It cracks me up seeing you femme up. It's just not you. I love being femme. Listen, I'm either lazy or femme. That's the only 2 modes that I have. Anyway. This might be the most intense drag ban since Tennessee's, which recently was... like it was canceled by a judge. The judge said, cancel culture is coming for this anti-drag bill. Tennessee, you're not allowed. Texas, as usual, is trying to one-up everybody. They have to be the biggest everything, including the biggest bigots in this case. Texas passes a total public drag ban. The law bans, quote, sexual gesticulations using accessories or prosthetics that exaggerate male or female sexual characteristics. Let's see. most Democrats shamefully voted present not voting, with some even voting for this bill because this was seen as a compromise. This ban goes further than Florida and Arkansas and is on par with Tennessee and Montana's. See the full bill here. So here we're looking at sexual conduct means the exhibition or representation, actual or simulated, of sexual acts, including vaginal sex, anal sex, and masturbation. The exhibition or representation, actual or simulated, of male or female genitals in a lewd state, including a state of sexual stimulation or arousal. The exhibition of a device designed and marketed as useful primarily for sexual stimulation. So like actual contact or simulated contact occurring between one person and other body parts. And then they tack it in here basically under all of these like sexually oriented performances are illegal. So this is supposed to be, I guess, cracking down on any, if you were to have a funny drag show where you ever see those people who make a full outfit and the full outfit is just like a whole bunch of dildos like stuck to their body. They'll have a suction cup dildo like on their forehead, like a unicorn, and make it all silly and everything. So it's trying to prevent those, but also prevents the exhibition of sexual gesticulations using accessories or prosthetics that exaggerate male or female sexual characteristics. So, like, what does that even mean, you know? Like, what is a sexual gesticulation using accessories or prosthetics exaggerating male or female characteristics? It also doesn't even say explicitly in this wording that it would be cross-dressing specifically, you know? There were some examples that Aaron put down here. Is a man with no shirt on and an oiled up body at a bodybuilding competition suddenly in violation of this law because that is a gesticulation exaggerating male and female characteristics? It's written in such a way that it could apply to cheerleading, for example. Like, if cheerleaders do a hip thrust motion in their dancing, is that not a sexual... Yeah, we're worrying about hip gyrations again. Is that not a sexual gesticulation and this outfit is like exaggerating female body parts? Does that mean that cis women can't wear butt pads or stuff their bras? I think that this is supposed to apply to performances, I think. Let me actually open the rest of the law. Yeah, performances. Certain sexually oriented performances prohibited on premises of commercial enterprise. So the problem with these kind of laws is like, okay, performance, that could just mean a comedy routine, you know, regulating certain sexually oriented performances. Donald Glover had a bit in one of his stand-up specials that was like, this is what my performances are like when people bring their kids because they saw me in Community and they think that my show is going to be good for them, and he does a jerking off motion when he's describing what his comedy is actually like, and parents are always surprised by it. Like, comedy routines could be like considered a sexually oriented performance, and then it's like, okay, so if you are a trans woman who is wearing a push-up bra, could you be targeted by this? Yeah, just sports in general. You can't wear a cup anymore. I just cut my hair short after being read as femme for 20 years. That's a big step, Kara. It's a big change. I'm reading a little bit more here to see. A municipality or county may not authorize a sexually oriented performance on public property or in the presence of an individual younger than 18 years of age. So it's once again just making it to where that any sexual performance, oh yeah, and guess what? We're just going to say that drag is sexual. And extending from that, we're also going to make it to where, generally speaking, trans folks are going to be targeted by this. And it's so shitty because trans people thrive on the margins in these creative, areas. Lots of trans people have difficulty working regular jobs, so they end up doing things like comedy and drag shows and bartending and singing and things like this, like dancing. to pay their bills. And the fact that those things are being cracked down upon, you know, almost shows an amount of salient awareness. Like, I'm not sure that they have this salient awareness, but it seems like a salient awareness of the specific ways in which you can hurt this community by cutting us off from the very few things that we have access to. This can ban furries and cosplay. I mean, yeah, hypothetically, this could ban cosplay because it's like if you're doing any kind of public performance in an exaggerated, you know, if you have like, even if you're a female, born female, and you're wearing those big old fake titties, the big plastic prosthetic thing for your cosplay, technically that would be considered illegal. However, let's not joke around. Let's not pretend like this is going to affect cisgender people. We already have cis people doing acts of resistance. I saw a band, like one of those bands that has like a 50-year-old man as the lead singer, and he's like wearing big old fake titties and like got big exaggerated makeup on, doing a show in drag. And, you know, Lizzo having a whole drag show at one of her concerts. You know, those people aren't going to be bothered. Like those are not the folks that we're trying to attack here. The people that they're trying to attack are trans folks. So even though like a trans woman doing a comedy routine is not a sexual show, like this law is trying to limit, that is still going to be targeted under that purview. However, like someone like a cisgender man could do a show in drag and even do his like usual sexual jokes and not be arrested, because it never is about what's explicitly illegal or not. It's always about who you can target. It's like you can use a law that has nothing to do with trans people and make it about trans people. You can have like really restrictive laws on what you're permitted to like change your identification over, and it just so happens that it limits trans people's access more than the average person. You know, like there's all these roundabout ways of attacking our rights. We just have to walk around with our loot of Lizzo summoning. True. I disagree that they will not use it against cis people. What I'm trying to say is that they're going to be selective. It's not that they're never going to use it against cis people. It's like they might use it against cis people who are also gay, because we covered that one story not too long ago about the lesbian bar getting shut down because insurance wouldn't cover her because she hosted drag nights. And that was another thing in Texas. A woman performing in a 3-piece suit would be persecuted too. Where's the limit? That's the question of where's the limit, you know? But again, it's like, it doesn't even necessarily matter what explicit language is in the law. It doesn't even matter. We just talked about the Kansas bathroom law. It doesn't even matter that there isn't any explicit law about, like, there isn't any explicit rules around the bathroom situation. And yet and it hasn't even gone into effect yet. And we still had a security guard at a public library eject a woman and her disabled son from the restroom. You know, it doesn't really matter. What? States in the South passing vague laws that might affect everyone but is only used to victimize a marginalized group. Like, remember, keep in mind, everybody, sodomy is illegal in a lot of places. Like, still, I'm pretty sure in Kansas we still have a sodomy law on the books, but we don't really enforce that law anymore. But, you know, sodomy, a lot of those sodomy laws included things like oral sex and anal sex generally. So it should have affected cis-het couples who happen to do anal sex or who happen to do oral sex. But of course, you can't actually like, you can't really like beat down everybody's door and be like, what kind of sex are you having? So it really just becomes a way to criminalize gay people because, oh, I know that those two men are living together and therefore I'm going to assume that they're having anal sex, and therefore that's how we're going to weaponize this law. But you don't even have to have any proof when you're attacking the gay people or the trans people, whatever the case may be. And even though there are cis people doing that same thing, they're just not going to bother. Maybe the easier example to compare this to is, white people and black people smoke cannabis, use cannabis at about the same rate as each other, but only one of those groups gets a lot of like incarceration and arrests associated with cannabis use, right? It's because cops are looking for the crime amongst black people, and they don't really care if white people commit the crime because it's not about the crime. It's about policing black people. So the sodomy laws, it's not about the crime of sodomy. It's not about the morality of fucking your wife in the ass. You know, it's about policing gay people. More accurately, yeah, of course, the slavery, yes, in the prisons. The crimes are a tool to create slaves. Yeah, of course, because your slavery is illegal except as punishment for a crime. Laws against loitering were also originally passed in such a way as they should affect everyone, but they were only used to police black people and continue slavery by then, you know, bringing them into the prison system. Oh my gosh, let me drink water. We have 140 likes. Wow. This is an incredible stream. It's going so well. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out. I really appreciate you all. We're still chit-chatting about this, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, this is terrifying. The idea that you just existing in front of kids is a sex crime. That if you are sufficiently cross-dressing, then like, and your performance is viewed as sexual. And also, at the end of every single one of these conversations, we have to keep in mind that these people believe that when you are transgender and you are dressing as your target gender in public, they believe that that is a fetish. They believe that you are sexually aroused by cross-dressing in public and by getting other people to call you by your pronouns. So they think that being trans in public is inherently involving everyone around you in your fetish, which means that gradually the way that these laws are going is that it doesn't, like these laws in particular, the one that we're covering today, is specifically about drag shows, basically. It's about performances. Yeah, like, so look at this. It's about a sexually oriented performance is a visual performance that features a performer who engages in sexual conduct and appeals to the prurient interest in sex. Prurient means, like, sexy. Like, prurient means, like, for the purpose of sexual arousal. So, again, if you just make the argument, that trans people are, by existing in public, engaging in a sexual kink, then you could just say, like, yeah, like, anytime a trans woman is in public doing anything, that's her using everyone around her to get off, you know, to use the RGR framing of things. You're literally using the people around you to get off in public. You know, that's like the mentality that goes into this. The word prurient does more work than every Republican combined. Fucking true. What's the RGR framing? Oh, it's what I just said. It's the she used it as a foot fetish thing. Like, if you know that your partner likes feet and you go out in public with your shoes off and you know that your partner is sexually aroused by that, then you're literally using the people around you in order to get off. Like, you're using the fact that there are people around you. Or hold on, what was it specifically? She was like, if you have a voyeurism kink or whatever, like, there was so many convoluted arguments made in that stream, but it's basically like, you know, for example, if you have a humiliation fetish and you shit your pants in public and then you get off because people see you shit your pants and your humiliation fetish gets off, then you're using other people against their consent in order to come and get off. And Riley took this to the far extreme that you shouldn't think about someone while masturbating to them without their permission. Like, if you have a coworker who you think is attractive and you imagine them then you are committing a sex crime against them because you're using them to get off. Imagine asking them, though. Like, hey, I think you're really attractive. Is it okay if I think about you while I masturbate tonight? Like, fucking... But that's... You think it sounds crazy, but that is actually the way that these politicians seem to think. It's like, you are an autogynephile. Like, you as a... Why am I coming into us retreading the Riley Doe debate? Listen, Ariel, it's relevant, okay? It's relevant. Because here's the thing. Yeah, the idea is that as a transgender person, you being trans is a sexual fetish. You want to be feminized or whatever. Like, let's just say that the example of the trans woman. Like, they think that trans women want to force everyone to engage in their kink. This is the thing that they don't usually say out loud. You know, they say things like, you want everyone to engage your delusion. They say things like, you want everyone to cater to your delusional mental illness and your ideology. But what they really think is, you want me to participate in your fetish. That's the thing that they're not saying. But they are starting to say more often, like, okay, if you're cross-dressing in public, according to these people, then you are forcing people to engage in your fetish. And so you're out there, you're strutting your thing, wearing your high heels with a massive boner, and then you go home, or maybe you can't even make it home. Maybe you get in your car and you just start yanking it. Like, obviously we know it's not a kink, but when you have people like fucking Ray Blanchard, you know, basically formulating his entire latter half of his career around the idea that some trans women transition because they really like the idea of themselves getting all feminized and aroused and stuff. Like, stop fetishizing these traits. High heels do make me feel sexy AF, not gonna lie. Y'all, I just got some incredible 4-inch heels, and I haven't yet taken any pictures for my Safe for Work Fansly yet, but I really need to. AGP needs to be ridiculed. It's such a shame that it's live and well. I encountered that theory almost 2 decades ago when searching the web, and it contributed to my staying in the closet for those 2 decades. It's such powerful propaganda, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, but it's so stupid. I don't want to get into a whole thing necessarily at the end of this segment about it, but like, imagine being a woman and like not wanting to be fucked like a woman. You know what I mean? Like, imagine being transgender and having an aspect of that not be wanting to have sex as a woman. I like being a dude. I think it's hot. Right. Like, it's hot to have sex as yourself and not like in a flesh suit that you feel alienated from. This is interesting. It seems to be pure projection when talking about trans equals fetishization. I mean, yeah, like, it's, again, they can't look at us without imagining the sexual implications. It's the same reason why they don't like seeing gay people hold hands in public, because they can't see 2 people holding hands without imagining them fucking each other. And similarly, they can't see a trans person in public without imagining their genitals. I'm literally an exhibitionist. I only indulge in that with audiences who have consented to it. Wouldn't I be the example of someone who would be aroused being seen in a certain way, and yet in my daily life I don't get any sexual gratification from existing as myself? You would think, but here's the thing about trans people, according to these types of people, is that apparently we're fucking liars. Like, ultimately, when Ray Blanchard encounters women who are not particularly conventionally attractive, and they are attracted to women, like trans women who aren't hyperfemme, who are lesbians, like, they are simply lying about their motivations for transitioning. They are simply lying, according to the Ray Blanchard model. I agree. People should be less stuck up about sex in general. I think that would solve a lot of problems. Agreed. We should start saying things like, stop sexualizing us. The more we start shaming them for sexualizing this, the more their facade falls apart. It remains to be seen whether that's effective, because that is a rhetorical device I see coming up more often with regards to the anti-kids transitioning thing. Because a lot of these people say like, oh, I'm so concerned about these kids' fertility. And so if you point out like, hey, Map Walsh, why is it that you're so interested in the fertility of 15-year-old females? Like, why is it that you're so concerned with that? Ah, I have done a study. Some of them agreed with me and the rest are liars. I am a good scientist. True, 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 true. Transphobes immediately block me when I accuse them of sexualizing me, so I say it's pretty effective. It's effective for getting them to block you. I wonder if it's going to be effective in a broader rhetorical sense, but it remains to be seen. You know, unfortunately, we are probably going to need to see some more like public conversations, like counteracting some of these transphobic things. Like, I don't know how else to address this whole, like, why are you thinking about the genitals of children all the time? Trans people aren't really afforded a platform. It kind of feels like the only way for trans people to get a platform to speak about our issues is if we legitimize transphobes, like if we are willing to submit ourselves to transphobic abuse by arguing directly with a transphobe because some news organization has decided that we have to both sides this issue, you know? It's still better than I asked all the transphobic moms about trans people. True, God, the ROGD study. What sides? Of course, yeah. They just feel the need to both sides this issue. But yeah, that's sort of a new thought that and it kind of reminds me of what Hannah Gatsby said in one of her stand-up specials was, you know, she's very self-effacing in her comedy. And she says she has to do that in order to be heard. She has to be willing to take the piss out of herself and be ridiculed. Or otherwise, like, she doesn't get to have a seat at the table. Vosh got blacklisted from right-wing commentators for being too smart. No one on the right would talk to you. Listen, exactly, Slashy. I mean, you're not wrong. I am thoroughly and deeply ignored. Even by places like Kiwi Farms. Like, there are mentions of me on Kiwi Farms, but I've been out and out as trans and engaged in these conversations for long enough that realistically, like, I should have my own dedicated thread on there, and I don't. Like, I've been mentioned in threads about other stuff, like free thought blogs. I don't know why. Who's that? I haven't heard of her. Hannah Gatsby? Gadsby. Is Hannah Gadsby? She's a lesbian and she's autistic and she does comedy. And that's pretty much it. Be happy that you're not milky enough for the farms. I mean, of course, it's a good thing that Kiwi Farms doesn't have a whole fucking page dedicated to me. Of course, it's a good thing. But it just is noteworthy that I have never received that kind of scrutiny before. We should build a list of all the people that the right wing won't talk to. Sam Cedar, Vosh, Luxander. They're going to build websites about me. Really, Amy? Is that something that you're actively dealing with? I want to see a head-to-head match between a trans person and a transphobe on a public forum that normies actually pay attention to. You know, what would it be like if I went on, what would it be like if I went on Fox News? What would that be like? Demon Mama's thread just completely died because she only had one dedicated stalker who got banned from Kiwi Farms. Also, KF is completely off the ClearNet now. You have to use Tor. Ah, I knew that it was still, like, up kind of, but not actually, you know? I know, I'm doxing you. How terrible. I don't know, what did Violet say earlier? It's because you aren't you aren't a useful target for their ideology because you defy all their assumptions about gender. Same reason they avoid NBs and trans masc disproportionately. I mean, I think fundamentally the reason why people ignore me politically is because I am still perceived as, like, female. And so it's like, oh, you're not even worth taking seriously. But I'm also a non-person in a way that females aren't. Like, people still attack, you know, Merrick, for example. because Merrick is like a successful sex worker. But I have like exited, like I am not taken seriously in the same way that women are, but I'm not taken seriously in an additional way because, oh my God, I'm so delusional. Like, oh my God, I don't know exactly how to put it in words, I guess. You know, you can also get a platform if you don't have the knowledge to ask for anything that would inconvenience anyone. There's a reason Biden invited Dylan Mulvaney to the White House and not, say, any trans activist lawyers or even elected state officials. She's harmless and she's not asking for anything. Be a good prop and the libs love you. Exactly. What, do you want a dedicated hater? I'm just saying that, like, I get ignored both in a positive and in a negative way. Like, people just don't pay attention to me. And like other trans people like myself. You know, Milo Stewart got a lot of hate, but I didn't. And it's just really interesting because I've been out for just as long and like saying a lot of the same shit, you know? So folks like me aren't going to ever end up in a situation where we can directly counteract transphobic arguments. Which is kind of like, that's kind of where the conversation was coming from, is that I'm saying it seems like the only time trans people are given a platform is when we are being pitted against some transphobe. Next morning, Luxander is a trans groomer, rah! Yeah, I know. They definitely don't want to give educated, articulated trans voices a platform. Saying your name even hatefully still makes you more relevant. Yeah, it's frankly, refusing to even acknowledge people is very powerful for canceling their influence. The thing about KF is that they don't make threads just because you're trans. There's a lot more reasons why threads get made. There's also a verification process before the thread even goes live to see if there's enough drama surrounding the person for the thread to be relevant. So if you don't make waves and keep doing your thing, KF won't find you interesting. But there's fucking, like, I have known people who had, like, Facebook death threat groups made about them, and all they were doing was blogging about feminism, you know? And, like, I have been out here making the same arguments for fucking, like, how many years have I been doing activism now? I started getting involved with blogging as an activist when I was, like, 18. So that was 11 years ago. And I was, like, interested in politics and privately writing about it. You're too boring for KF. Oh my God, true, deeply concerned. I'm too boring for Kiwi Farms. There are people mad at me on WoW just because I'm openly trans and chat on trade chat occasionally. Maybe if they say your name 3 times in the mirror, they get transed or something. Who knows what they believe? Who the fuck knows? All right, so that was Texas. The way that people were talking about this on Twitter made it sound like this was more intense than it was. But it still is, yeah, like, the laws are written in a way that they could be broadly. Has Blanchard said anything about trans people lately? Of course, Missy. Of course, Blanchard still actively tweets about trans people. Start drama with Vosh. No, I want to be like, I want to consistently not be that asshole. Come on. Oh no, I missed the Texas bit. Yeah, you missed the Texas bit. We talked about it for a while. I introduced my mom to Glinner's Twitter. Why would you do that? Yeah, you didn't know that Ray Blanchard has a Twitter? Hold on, let me put this link in my notes before I move away from this page. Texas drag ban. Oh my God, my voice hurts. Researcher in sexual orientation, paraphilias, and gender identity disorders. Ray Blanchard tweeted 19 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm too boring. I am not enough of a lol cow. I wish all the homophobes and transphobes were like my dad. He is a super boomer and doesn't get on social media. It kind of seems like the boomers who are off of social media And I guess if they're not watching Fox News, those people tend to be a little bit more live and let live. Like, you have to, a lot of those folks are like, can you explain to me what the problem is about trans people? Like, why are people so upset? Who is Blanchard? Oh, Ariel. Oh, Ariel, I'm so sorry. Ray Blanchard is the man who coined the concept of autogynephilia, which is the idea that transgender women transition because they have a fetish for being women. Because they're sexually attracted to the idea of themselves being female and having a man have sex with them. So, yeah, it's pretty cringe. Blanchard is fucking crazy. The first time I heard about him, I thought he was an 1800s ghosts in your blood, do cocaine about it kind of doctor. Very surprised to learn that he is in fact still alive. He's such a fucking tool and so easy to make fun of. I guess at the very least, he's against beauty pageants for little kids. He says, this girl reminds me of the strangely infantilized faces of mid-20th century Hollywood actresses. So at least he seems like he's mildly uncomfortable with beauty pageants for 8-year-olds. Why does that kid have so much makeup on, though? That's too much contour for a little kid like that. Parents don't really understand, but they are the definition of the boomer Wojak. No, I know. Nobody ever talks about autoandrophilia. Let's talk about autoandrophilia for a second, okay? One of the main reasons why I want a penis is because it's fucking hot. Like, if we're just being honest, it's the same reason why I work out. Like, I work out because it's fucking hot to be muscular, you know? I work out because I want to look a certain way because I think that that's sexy. Dink. True. We nodders. True, but someone's gonna clip that. Do it then, bitch. See, that's the thing. I'm not really worried about getting clipped out of context because nobody cares about me. And I'm like, so I can just say whatever the fuck I want to. Beauty pageants make little kids look like 40-year-olds for no reason. Right. Why does this little girl look like she is about to cuss me out in an Applebee's? Truly, like, why does this child look like she's about to call the police on me for bird watching in the park? Like, who is this girl? Why does she have so much fake hair on her head? Look at those extensions. Anyway. We will clip you, do it. Is it bad to want to be hot? Apparently it's bad. I'm pretty sure that I was made to do a pageant thing like this when I was a really little kid, but I was like 3 years old, and thus I do not remember. She looks like she's gonna offer me a coffee refill and call me hun. Yeah, like she's the waitress at the Waffle House or some, maybe not the Waffle House, Denny's maybe? She's a Denny's waitress down south. Good fucking Jesus Christ. She looks like the blonde kid in Big Mouth. I feel like there's a wholesomeness to the Southern waitress that this child does not fulfill. This child does not seem like a kind Southern waitress. This child seems like she is going to unhinge her jaw, open it up, and devour me in one snaky bite. People call us fake, but MTG looks like a plastic demon. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't even know how to describe. She reminds me of one of my grandmas, but like, not as much as Ariel does. Ariel reminds me of that grandma more than Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene has gotten too much sunlight. That's the big problem. Yo, we're so close to having 90. So we have 94 viewers. We're so close to 100. This is what I want out of my career. Is this summer, I want to get to a point where we're having roughly 100 people in the stream every day that we stream. So if you want to hit like, I would appreciate it because it's free, it's quick, it almost always results in more people coming into the stream. That would be really awesome. If we started the summer with a stream that managed to get to 100 viewers. Thank you so much, Thea. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the donation. Little $5 dono. Let me do this. I don't know. Let's just increase the stream goal, I guess. I don't know what we'll do if we hit the secondary goal, but we'll figure it out if we get there. Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like she's made of old foreskins. Her skin scares me. I'm like, how does this woman not have cancer? She just, and like, have you ever seen videos of Marjorie Taylor Greene working out? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene CrossFit? Like the way that she exercises is so scary. Like what? Like how am I gonna search for this? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene exercise. Cause she she does not exercise in a way that it's like, okay, you're gonna succeed in life. Like, I've seen her do this kind of exercise before, but she was like flinging herself around. And it was like the way that CrossFitters sometimes do things is like with very poor form and really quickly and using a lot of momentum. And it's just really bad for you. And she's so old that you really can't exercise in that way. Like, it's just really not good for you. But I can't find this specific video. It might have even been a video that she posted. But it would have been fucking forever ago. CrossFit, cult fit. It's like a dying fish, just flailing and flopping. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know how to find this video that I'm trying to find. I'm not convinced that Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't an actual troll. Is she a troll, or is she being paid, or is she just that stupid? That's the question. She reminds me of the last civilian boss I had that I couldn't stand. Oh, wait. Are we talking about detransition? What's going on here? Hold on. I missed something. Oh my god, my throat hurts. No matter her sincerity, she's dangerous. True, that's what it ends up being. Curious if you've mentioned Virtual Pride yet. No, I hadn't mentioned Virtual Pride. Is there a date set for that now? I saw the planning going on in the Discord, but I hadn't seen that there was like something on the books yet. June 24. Cool. Okay. What day is June 24? June 24 is a Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Cool. So on June 24th, we're going to have a virtual Pride that is going to be Star Panda TV is the one who kind of came up with the idea for it. And the idea is that like folks who are not going to be able to go to Pride because their states are making it dangerous to go there, or if you're disabled and you can't go to Pride because there are no COVID precautions being taken anymore, or, you know, any other reason why you might want to attend a virtual Pride, we are going to have an event on June 24th, and it's supposed to be like a multiple hours, multiple different streamers coming in, playing games, chatting, raising money. Oh, it's next month. My bad. It's a Saturday. Okay, so June. Okay, yeah, I had the wrong month pulled up because my microphone is in the way of my screen. Like this, the arm part of my microphone is in the way of my monitor. So I messed that up. So on Saturday, June 24, and we're going to be raising money for the Rainbow Passage, which is trying to get people out of dangerous places like Florida, and they have successfully relocated several folks. So the more money that they have, the more resources that they have, the better it's going to be. So Pride, enjoy hanging out, fun time, good vibes, and also raising money for a good cause. And that's going to be June 24th. And I am supposed to be there. I don't know exactly what the time slot is. Vosh is in. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so excited for Vosh to be in. I love it when he puts his weight behind stuff, you know? This year has me seriously wound up about cops at Pride. I might go to jail. This is why a virtual option can be more beneficial. We're not discussing D-Trans. We were talking about Blanchard. Okay, I got you. Vosh rad. True. Vosh is in fact a gay, little known fact. Well, I know that he is gay, obviously, but like he is putting his weight behind a fundraising thing that is specifically trying to help trans people get out of bad situations. So yes, Pride is something that is for gay people in general. In this case, it is specifically held to help trans people, right? You meant the version where I'm just there and they arrest me? I meant the other thing. Okay. Yeah, Vosh is great. Last Pride was fun. DM and Doe and Fawn and Vosh and Vermin and myself went to the Unicorn Bar. I remember, wow, I feel like it's been a year. Wow. I'm like, yeah, I remember when Demon Mama posted pictures and like Doe looked really cool and Fawn looked really cool in their outfits. Not Vermin Supreme, no, Vosh's roommate, Vermin Hands. Although, hasn't Vosh spoken with Vermin Supreme before? I'm pretty sure. Don't like the idea of picking up both my toddler and 1-year-old and having to run, so virtual will probably be it for me. Yeah, fair enough. No, it's not Conyer. Conyer is not Vermin Hands. Like, yeah, Conyer is Vosh's other roommate. Vermin Hands and Vosh used to date, and now they're just friends and roommates. Yeah. We could probably get Vermin Supreme on Virtual Pride. Not sure what he would do, but we know him. Oh, nice. He seems like he would be a fun and interesting character to have on. And they were roommates. They were dating and then they became roommates. But yeah, I'm excited about doing that. I love doing collaborations and I'm trying to do more of them. I'm not great with reaching out and coming up with the ideas, but I'm going to be on the Transatlantic Call-In Show again on June 15th. And I'm also going to be at this event on June 24th. And I'm also supposed to come on stream with Surus. I think we're going to have like a little both of us are streaming at the same time conversation with Surus next week on Tuesday. We were supposed to do it tonight, but some stuff came up. Yeah, I've known Surus for years. We're not really close, but I've known him since, you know, like back in the days when Mr. Atheist channel was still pretty small. Yeah, Surus is pretty cool. How is Shoe on Head? Shoe on Head is very much buying into the groomer rhetoric, and she is very much like a useless piece of human excrement, I think, at this point. What you going to talk to Surus about? Surus wants to have a video on his channel that he can point to that's like, when people are complaining, like, what do you even mean trans rights? Like, what rights do you not have? He wants to... He had a comment like that on his YouTube channel recently, and he decided that he wanted to have a video on the channel where we could have a discussion saying, like, what do we even mean when we're asking for trans rights? So it'll be a conversation kind of about what rights do everyone else has that trans people don't have. And, you know, we can make some comparisons like, oh, you remember when folks used to say gay people do have the right to get married. They can marry someone of the opposite sex. So they do have the same rights as everybody else. But obviously that's discriminatory because straight people don't want to marry someone of the same sex. So, like, they have the right to marry who they want, but we didn't have the right to marry who we wanted. So we'll have a conversation kind of like just establishing what trans rights means and, like, what it means to advocate for that. And we'll probably end up having a discussion as well about the idea of, do trans rights conflict with women's rights more broadly? I'm sure that's the kind of direction that conversation is going to go. So that's supposed to be next week. Am I remembering wrong, or did she used to be better? I never watched her channel and only seen her talking to a couple other creators. I feel like she started to have a little bit of a redemption arc, and then she just gave up on it. What about 2004? What? The short answer, no. Long answer, no. I've seen Surus struggle with that topic multiple times with his chat/comment. Sounds like a really good conversation to have. Yeah, I'm sure that he brought me... he brought this to my attention because he feels that I'm going to be able to articulate it in a way that he can't. But we still have 86 people hanging out with us. Let's not get off on too much of a tangent here. We had some announcements, and yeah, I'll keep you guys appraised of what's going on June 24th. If you guys want to come to the virtual Pride that we're going to be doing, you know, I can let you know what time I am specifically going to be on, but I encourage you to hang out for as much of the stream as possible once we get the times actually down and all that. So yes, I don't navigate other people's Discord servers very much. So I'm like, oh my god, where do I even find where any of the info is here? She went a bit Bernie when that was a popularity booster. Yeah, she was a Bernie bro, and she had that sort of going for her. Her boyfriend being a Nazi kind of makes people know what she's down for. Horrendous. Oh, 2004, yeah, when gay marriage was legalized. Ridiculous human being. She was like anti-non-binary at first. She was like, non-binary is stupid, and then Natalie Wynn talked to Shu and like convinced her to take down her video against non-binary people. But yeah, if she was riding the groomer train, did Voosh finally drop her? Vosh did kind of come after. I mean, he responded to her after the Balenciaga thing, and he did kind of say like, listen, Shu, this is fucking disgusting what you're doing. I'm like, I've used the kid gloves a lot of the times when we have a difference with each other, but I'm gonna just come out and say, this is fucking stupid what you're doing, and it's not cool. And she generally cuts off people when they get real with her like that. So the assumption, I think, is that their relationship isn't gonna be able to survive him being like, yeah, no, this is bad. Yes. Good night, Donawu, my oh, have a good dinner. We still have one last thing to talk about tonight, and I'm gonna need to maybe drink some water and like rest my voice for a second before we talk about Florida. He always gave her too much leeway, of course. Oh my gosh. What did Florida not do, Ariel? Oh no. There we go. We'll unmute you. Yeah, entire Florida segment just every time, increasingly. Crescendo. By almost 3 a.m. here, busy day tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Peta, go to sleep. Come back to see us on Sunday. I stream at noon Central on Sundays, so that's a better time for our European friends to hang out. I don't believe in Florida. It's another possible relationship where he has tried to talk to her, but if she cuts herself off from him, it's another person that stopped talking to him. That's the thing about Vosh, is that people always are cutting ties with him. Like, and I just think that that sucks. And, yeah. It's just a bummer. Headcanon that the bot muted Violet for saying Florida. Yeah, let me just, like, put Florida as the, as one of the words you're not allowed to say. He confirmed that he doesn't really talk to Shu anymore a few weeks ago. Makes sense. I just ran from Florida. Really bashful. Did you recently, like, left the state and got out of there? That's good. Oh gosh. Yeah, we should start on that segment. Florida's a swear word now. Thank you so much for the $5 dono drums. Play Shadow of the Colossus for stream. The game is sparse but interesting and beautiful, and the overall story is great. Thank you for your dono. I have heard good things about Shadow of the Colossus, but it's never really been one that I planned to play, although it's like such an old game at this point. It could be really enjoyable. Especially now that I've played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm interested in this whole tiny humanoid being involved with giant Colossus things. That would be a good stream game. Alternative names for Florida. American Saggy Dicks, true. Hearing PS2 games be called old makes me feel ancient. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, I remember it when I was a kid, like, having a PS2 and, like, playing Guitar Hero on it, you know? That was 10 plus years ago. I'm still hyped for all the PS5 games getting ported. So, such a great day for Sony fans. Absolutely. Okay. Oh my gosh, my throat hurts. Texas drag ban. Texas drag ban. Texas drag ban. Texas drag ban. Gorgeous. What a wonderful day. What a beautiful day. What am I talking about? Oh my god, Florida. Okay, I don't even have any links for this right now, I don't think. Do I have any links available for this right now? The news about Florida that we're covering right now isn't exactly new. It's just the first time that I'm talking about it on stream because I kind of got burned out on talking about Florida for a minute there. Seeing if I can find any links about it, but probably not. I might just have to talk about it off the cuff. Okay, I don't think I have any links for this, so I might just have to talk about it off the cuff, which is fine. Did you know that trans healthcare for adults has more or less been banned in Florida? We've been watching this situation develop for a number of months now. Approaching a year now, we've been watching the issues going on in Florida. Sometime last year, they already decided that, we've decided that there isn't enough evidence that transgender healthcare is a thing that people need and should have, so therefore, we are going to take it off of Medicaid. So if you're a poor person who lives in Florida, who was using state insurance to get your healthcare, you can no longer receive gender-affirming care on your Medicaid. You have to pay for it out of pocket or get private insurance. So adults' healthcare in Florida has already been challenged and limited. Now, additionally, they've passed a law that basically one of the main things that it does is makes it to where only medical doctors, like with a medical degree, can give you a prescription for hormones. Most people who get hormones in the informed consent model around the country and in Florida, I think it's like 80% of adults getting hormone care in Florida are getting it from a nurse practitioner. A lot of the times, like, you don't need a medical doctor. You can see a nurse practitioner. When I very first got diagnosed with gender identity disorder back in 2015, I was seeing a nurse practitioner. And that's still the case. Like, I mean, I have a medical doctor now, but I have seen nurse practitioners on multiple occasions because they know enough to be able to prescribe you this medication. You know, contrary to popular belief, you don't need a medical doctor to diagnose all of your issues. But they've now made it to where nurse practitioners are not allowed to fill those prescriptions. So if you were seeing someone regularly, like, oh, this is the person I go to every few months to get my blood work done, if that person is a nurse practitioner, you have to find a new provider to give you your hormone care. Additionally, they have required new informed consent forms to be drawn up and given to people to sign in order to confirm, like, yeah, you understand what's going on with your care, right? So the thing here is that law went into effect, but those informed consent forms weren't ready. So there are people who do have a medical doctor giving them their prescription and who are having to pause that prescription because they haven't signed the new forms yet that are legally required but not yet available to sign. So allegedly, the Board of Medicine is supposed to get together next week and put together a new informed consent, like a liability waiver or whatever the hell you want to call it. Like it's probably going to be a lot of the same stuff that we've had issues with abortion, you know, like, oh, you're now legally required to tell people seeking an abortion that their abortion will raise the likelihood of them developing breast cancer later, which isn't true. Being pregnant can increase your risk of breast cancer, and being on certain birth controls can increase your risk of breast cancer, but the abortion itself is not. That is a lie. But like, doctors basically have to say, you know, they'll be like, and the law requires me to tell you this information. And they have to come up with their own way of suggesting, like, maybe that's not as true as the law is claiming it to be, but it is still legally required for me to tell you. So I imagine that this informed consent form is going to have a bunch of similarly scare tactic kind of stuff built into it. But the main problem is that there are folks who currently are not able to access a prescription, like folks who have suddenly lost the ability to maintain their hormones. And like, listen, you are not supposed to start or stop most medicines cold turkey. You know, when you start antidepressants, they put you on a low dose and then they gradually increase it. And then when you're like, okay, this medicine isn't working for me, they'll pull you off of it slowly. They might say like, well, we're going to reduce your dose, or maybe only take it every other day for about a couple weeks, and then you can stop taking it completely. So it's just generally not considered good or healthy to randomly stop any medication, but hormones affect so many aspects of your body that randomly not having access to your prescription can be harmful to you physically, like your health, your heart health, and other aspects of your health like that. Also, there are plenty of people in the state of Florida who have had their gonads removed, meaning they cannot make any testosterone or estrogen in their bodies, or at least not very much. And then they lose access to healthcare. So it's like, okay, you're not only like being forcibly detransitioned because you're being removed off of your healthcare, but you also don't even like have hormones. So it's not like, oh, no big deal, I'll still have some kind of hormones in my body. No. You get no hormones, which can cause even more widespread health issues, especially if it lasts very long. Informed consent is already a requirement. The state doesn't actually want informed consent. Of course, they don't want informed consent. They want to completely legislate trans healthcare out of the possibility, you know, which is why they've made it to where nurse practitioners can't give the healthcare anymore. So what are you gonna do if maybe there's one doctor in your area who you know does informed consent for healthcare? Well, he already had a pretty full patient load, and now most of the people who are trans and on hormones in the state of Florida, now they're knocking on your door and saying, hey, excuse me, like, I would really love for you to give me transition-related care. And that would be awesome. Also, I think that part of the rules was that your initial appointment has to be in person. Refills can be given over telehealth, but if you want access to hormones and you're just starting, or maybe even if you're just starting with a new doctor, this might also be the rule, you're required to come in person. So yeah, these doctors who are willing to prescribe hormones to adults are going to be like overwhelmed with a patient load and required to do all of those first time appointments in person for a population of people who already were diagnosed and are already on the medication. I'm switching to DIY. Plenty of people don't even have another option. What do? You know, you might try to get the medicine in the meantime. You might like, oh, okay, well, I'll make an appointment with this new doctor, but I'm not going to be able to see that new doctor for 3 months. So in the meantime, guess what? I am just going to switch to DIY. And then once you're on DIY, at a certain point, like what would be the point to going back to the doctor? I guess if you're on testosterone, you really should try to not DIY, because it can present dangers to your health, and it's also very illegal. But yeah, a year ago I criticized DIY hormones. Now I regret those comments. That's the thing that we were trying to say to you the entire time, is that you actually don't have a choice but to DIY. In general, same is true for trans women. Well, it's definitely, it can be dangerous for your health as a trans woman. As a rule, it's not safe to DIY. I would say if you are able to get your blood level checked on a regular basis, even if you are obtaining your prescription from a different source, you know, if you are informed enough and you have somewhere you can go to get your estrogen and testosterone checked, and like ideally your hemoglobin and other things need to be checked once in a while, if you know everything that needs to be monitored, and you can learn those things on websites like DIYHRT.github, is that what it is? Like, you can find resources that will tell you what to look for. So if you do need to purchase your estrogen on the gray market, and you do still want to keep tabs, and you can find like a Quest Diagnostics place that will do your blood levels for like a reasonable price, you might be able to do it in a relatively safe way. But, you know, we are getting to a point where we're limited in those options, and it comes back around again to the be gay, do crimes thing. We need these things in order to like exist and live. You know, throughout history, we haven't always had access to actual hormones, and we managed to live, and that's cool. now that people are accustomed to having the access to this care, removing it is going to be way, 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 way harmful. So you have no choice but to, like, your fundamental existence is being criminalized. If you just go about your day, if you just go to the bathroom, if you just exist in front of children, if you do a comedy routine with, like, drag on, then you're being criminalized. Yeah, Demon Mama was right. She debated Vosh on this topic a couple years back, and he was staunchly against it. I think that it's because Vosh had it in his head that what was being proposed was the idea of, like, brewing your own estrogen in the bathtub. And it's like, yeah, that's not ideal, but also, like, what do you do if the supply lines break down? If you know enough about chemistry, you actually can make medicine. It's just, like, you need to be super fucking careful. DIY HRT is less safe than a prescription. It's more not safe to have no HRT. Generally, I agree, yes. Where I live, the queues for prescriptions are over 3 years long, so I need DIY. Yeah, you will never catch me criminalizing DIY. Sorry. You will never catch me criticizing DIY hormones. Especially at this point. Like, no, not at all. From what I've seen, Vosh generally is hit or miss on his first takes on trans issues. He usually needs a friend to talk sense into him. And I'm so glad that he has people who are willing to talk to him like that, you know? Like, I'm so glad that he has friends who are able to call him in. DIY is a must in UK. Yeah, I really can't criticize people who do DIY hormones because it is, for some folks, like, it is the only way that they can access it. I'm not American, but I'm effectively totally blocked from HRT for longer than I would survive without it, no joke. This is one of the things that makes me glad that we have a decentralized healthcare system in the US. Like, obviously, it's terrible that it's all privatized, but it also means that there's no national standard preventing me from getting care for 5-year wait lists, you know? Obviously, it'd be super underground, but like how they did with AIDS meds in the 80s without the dying part. Yeah, like, imagine being in the placebo group from HIV medication trial. What do you, like, if you're pretty confident that you didn't get the placebo because your symptoms are starting to get better, of course you're going to share it. You're much more correct there than people realize. Do you mean about the healthcare access thing? National healthcare systems, it is so much easier to do a blanket ban on trans care. And, like, we are kind of lucky that we have the ability to do informed consent, and that, you know, if you're willing to drive 10 hours, you might be able to go to an informed consent clinic someplace. I won't criticize DIY, but I'm not going to endorse DIY. Okay, yeah, no, to be totally clear, I endorse DIY because it is a necessary survival thing. I would really highly recommend that you get your blood level checked still and make sure that you're keeping tabs on all those things. But, like, if you are in a place where you can't access a prescription, to the extent that it's possible and ideally legal, I endorse DIY. Where I live, all healthcare is nationalized to the point that no doctor is even allowed to prescribe me hormones outside of the queues. It's fucking stupid. Not even private doctors. Really, not even private doctors? In the UK, at least you can go private. And, like, you can go to the what is it called? There's, like, a specific place that people go for private gender care. In Canada's case, we're a mix of national healthcare and private care, which can be a problem for some stuff like sleep disorder tools, especially for dental work and many other things arguably necessary but not covered. It's so fucking stupid. So pour one out for the homies in Florida they are really out here struggling. I know several people personally who live in Florida who are currently dealing with a lack of access and like being in between appointments and rationing their medicine. And it's just like at a certain point, it's like, I don't know what to say except get the hell out of there. You know, we're going to be doing virtual Pride on June 24th, raising money for the Rainbow Passage. And if you want to help support those kind of things, I would really recommend, like, you know, rainbowpassage.org. They're trying to get people out of these places, and they have successfully relocated a couple folks. It's a really small operation for now, but we're going to try to help and support those kind of mutual aid things, getting people out of these dangerous places. And we're going to keep trying to change things in the places where the laws are getting passed. You know, I live in Kansas, and they have this anti-trans bathroom law that has passed recently. And to the extent that I'm able to, I'm going to do what I can to help fight against that. I don't know what that is going to look like, but we can keep voting. We can keep protesting, showing up places. We can support our friends who have a difficult time accessing medication, whether that's, you know, giving them a ride or helping them out in other more direct material ways. We're really going to have to band together as a community and stop fighting on Twitter about stupid nonsense. Wouldn't it be incredible if the best thing for leftist unity was that Elon Musk destroyed Twitter, and so suddenly all of the queer people are not having stupid arguments with fucking psyops anymore? Anyway, goodness gracious. Maybe we should switch to talking about something that doesn't fucking suck for the next, like, 15 minutes. What's some good news that we can talk about tonight? These are the shoes that I got recently, by the way. I'm really excited about these shoes. I have not yet put together an outfit for them, and I should do it. Stop fighting about fucking flags and unionize. Amen. I've been watching through The Handmaid's Tale. It's kind of like watching the news. Oh, no. I never watched it. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, my jaw. I feel like 90% of leftist burned bridges happen over Twitter. It does suck that it was such a great place to get information from. I'm not really on Twitter as much as I used to be anymore, which sucks because it means that I miss out on some news sometimes, I'm sure. The Dami Mommy XL Steppy Boots, exactly. Ooh, I got a couple of new skirts. That's exciting. Yeah, my voice is tired and I've been talking for more than 3 hours, y'all, so I am gonna probably start winding down the stream. If, you know, if you've enjoyed, I appreciate you hanging out. Feel free to hit like before you leave if you're gonna be petering out here. But I'm hoping to find something kind of positive to round out the stream with. Oh, thank you so much, Desi Quiche, with your $10 dono. Be trans, do crimes, that is all. I will do my best. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Excellent. We could talk about the wholesomeness with Emily coming out. Oh my god, that's true. 21K comments, and it's been beautiful to see the majority by far are positive. I don't even know why that blew up so hard. Yeah, I watched this video. I don't know if we want to watch the whole thing because it's kind of slow in the pacing. But yeah, so Emily, like, you might recognize her from Linus Media Group. She has been on camera with Linus for years, but she just came out as trans. You know, you would probably know her under a different name, but she's been working for Linus Tech Tips for a number of years, and she started hormones last year. And, like, listen, look at her skin. Like, that's the one thing. It's like, girl, I can tell you've been on hormones. Look at your skin. Like, goodness gracious, this is not even that high quality of a video, and I can tell. Your skin be looking smooth and glowing. I've watched her breakdowns a ton. Yeah. It's so awesome. Like, I'm so happy for her. She also has twice as many subscribers as the last time I watched this video. It's proof that having ARC Linux makes you trans. Trans femmes named Emily outnumber the rest of us. There are so many of you. Yeah, and of course, Linus Tech Tips says, huge step, always love and support from the whole team here. You know, it just occurred to me that I don't know Linus's last name. I'm guessing that LS is Linus, but I just don't know his last name. His name is Linus Tech Tips. That's his whole thing. Oh, Sebastian. I liked it better the way that I thought of it. Yeah, 20,000 comments and support. Like, I grew up watching LTT videos in my childhood, always dreamed of moving to Canada to work at LMG. When I came out and started transitioning, I worried maybe that dream wasn't realistic since I didn't see any trans people working at LMG, and I'm just really happy that's changed. I'm so sad. His middle name is Tech, his last name is Tips. True. So many, like, nice people down here. Like, congrats. I'm a tech geek, and I always look forward to your segments. Hope to see them in the future. I'm not really sure how much Emily is going to be on camera, because she did state in the video that she's hesitant to draw negative attention to Linus Media Group. So, that is a way in which this isn't a wholly positive thing, because it does suck. Like, if you're just now coming out as trans, you are having to deal with the fact that people are going to be mad about it. But I really hope that if she does come back and do video content for Linus Media Group, that they, you know, I hope that them being unrepentantly supportive of her kind of like that. I feel like that should influence the rest of the tech industry. You know, LTT is so, like, everybody goes to LTT for advice and shit. I'm sure there are LTT haters, but like they're such a huge name in the, like, we benchmark and test things tech sphere that I hope that them being supportive of her would make a big difference. But we'll see. Yeah, look what happened to Dylan. I joined Twitter about 2 months ago, and I would miss all the trans people that I currently follow if it went down. A longtime poster came out, and a bunch of us had the pleasure to congratulate Alice on coming out. Yeah, and Chris from Mr. Beast, I feel like that blew over pretty quickly. Mr. Beast was just like, I have no desire to deal with your stupid shit. And that was kind of the end of it. And then Chris hasn't been in videos much, but it's because they're focusing on their family. Truly happy for you, Emily. Enjoy the rest of your vacation and ignore the dumb haters. You will always be the best host on LTT, and I hope you do come back to hosting on LTT when you feel you're at your best. No rush. Like, I would feel so good if I was Emily seeing these comments. Like, I would cry. I would cry so hard. Like, when you're so scared, when you're, like, so scared to come out because you don't want to ruin your career or you don't want to hurt Linus Media Group, like, to know that it's going to go okay. Like, to know that it's going to be all right. Oh, Chris was on Finster's stream? I didn't know that. Apparently they hang out all the time because they go to the same vocal coach. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know that Finster was doing vocal coaching now. That makes it seem like Finster might not be cis, if I'm gonna be honest. For every cis girl named Emily, a trans Emily is born. Oh, apparently Fallout New Vegas is now free on Epic Game Store. Finn is literally gonna start HRT. I mean, I get, if you want to, there are cis people who take cross-sex hormones, and, you know, I guess that's just the natural conclusion to fucking gender abolition, you know? Still cis, though. You said we weren't supposed to speculate. You know what? Finn is different, because Finn plays into the joke of being a repressor or an egg. You know? That's Finn's whole career right now, is being a femboy, you know? It's a very extended bit. The boy clothes are still locked up in the trunk, right? Like, he's not allowed to wear boy clothes. I totally want a man that looks like Finn. I don't want a man that looks like Finn because I can't find Finn attractive as a man. Like, I don't see it. I'm like, you're just a woman's head on a man's body. Kind of pisses me off when people try to make Finster be trans. Let him be who he is. Yeah. Let femboys be femboys. Finn's gender is Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Imagine being non-binary, though. Like, imagine wanting to be one thing at one time and another thing at another time. I kind of get it, you know? It's the trap aesthetic. I just think everyone is trans or non-binary until proven otherwise. That's the new headcanon. Everyone is at least a little ace or gay. Bisexual, shrug. Shrug. I'm like queer and bi or whatever you want to call it, but I find folks attractive in different ways. Like femboys are attractive in a way that is different to like cis men who aren't femboys, you know? Finn is doing HRT and got a nose job. I 100% believe Finn is a trans woman being held hostage by the pressure of remaining a boy for donations. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's profitable, so whatever he's doing is working. Me announcing a gender reveal party, and the reveal is that all the cis people attending are revealed in their true gender. You're actually a boy, Jessica. You didn't know it. I post to r/traps because I'm reclaiming it. Being a trap means I pass as cis, which only gives me power. Power. I would lie to the internet if I got to transition for free. True. Listen, you think I wouldn't lie to the internet if it meant I got to transition for free? I don't care what I have to say to get my phalloplasty. Listen, I still think it's really funny that that one person got their whole top surgery GoFundMe funded after a transphobe tweeted a picture of their GoFundMe page. I'm like, okay, so when I start my phalloplasty GoFundMe, I have to rage bait, right? Like that's the move. I only said Finn was doing HRT because all the YouTube clickbait videos say that he is. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, it's weird that there's an entire industry around, like, speculating whether Finn is actually a femboy or not, you know? Oh, nice. Time for the gender reveal party. Ready, everyone? I really hope nothing catches on fire. 3, 2, 1, surprise! I'm non-binary. It's so hard to be a non-binary gestating parent. So much mommy shit. There's a whole industry around feet. It's the internet. If it exists, there are people making porn. Well, okay, whatever, porn, whatever, that's one thing. But I'm talking about, like, why is it that there are people who, like, make money off of speculating and, like, they post clickbait videos, like, Finster started hormones. Like, I might, like, make a little celebration segment if Finn came out as trans. I would be like, good for her. But for now, he's a femboy, and good for him on being a femboy. You are making money at the moment, technically. I guess. I'm making pennies of YouTube Premium money at this current moment. But I'm not out here clickbaiting, is the thing. I'm not sensationalizing someone else's gender identity. Finn is a femboy, Rose is a trans girl. Who's Rose? What's Rose? Rose Tyler is a trans girl? What? Oh yeah, I saw the news from Japan that the government's policy against same-sex marriage has been declared unconstitutional. Oh, Rose is Finn's girl Sona. Oh, okay, got it. So same-sex marriage is supposed to be it's I guess gonna be legalized now in Japan. Oh my gosh. Not many people commit to a bit as hard as Finn does, so obviously people go speculating. Yeah, but it's like, I just still think it's creepy and weird to like make clickbait videos about it. Most likely decriminalized for now, but possibly legalized later. Yeah, I mean, so for now it's simply decriminalized, but that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that there's a pathway to. It's like if the government forms still say bride and groom on them, which was the case when I got married, like I had to put myself down as the bride because when I got married, like gay marriage wasn't legal yet. Or hold on. Was gay marriage? I got married in 2012. Did we have legal across the whole country? I don't think we did. Did anyone else see the Twitter post back and forth between Finn and Abigail? Was there a recent one? How do criminalize marriage? Yeah, I don't know how that works exactly. Some parts of Japan you can already get married. Depends on the province. Well, that's good. Like 2 days ago, she implied it was him that gave her the hickey. Oh, I didn't see that fucking Abigail was posting about a hickey. Come on now. Okay, well, this is the kind of clickbait that I'm here for, I guess. Did she post a picture? And she had a hickey in the picture? Or did he post a picture? Come on now. Her scarf look. The scarf? Am I going to be able to find this easily or not? Okay, they're definitely flirting. Or at least they're play flirting. My new landlords say I can redecorate a bit, so I want full e-girl vibes in the room I'm gonna live stream from. What does my fantasy e-girl bedroom need? And Finster says, me. Abigail says, you're in my tweets, but I don't see you in my sheets. Are you just gonna post about it, or are you gonna call an Uber and come over? Like... and then, like, she's posted this collage of, like, multiple times of them flirting back and forth. You're in my replies, but I don't see you between my thighs. My room's better decorated anyway. Like, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen your bedroom yet. Yeah, so they're definitely flirting back and forth. It's pretty cute. Abigail's been looking real high femme. Her face has changed so much. Like, I know she got FFS, but, like, even then, like, her estrogen and her face, like, settling... Like, she looks really good. Really, really good. Look at the bottom one in the collage. Oh, I have to click this. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. This one says, had to commit to this very extra scarf look to hide the massive hickey that someone left on my neck. You know who you are. I'll get you back for this. And then Finster posted, I'm gonna bite your neck with a demon face. I guess that must have been in reply. Although it's not threaded in the same way as these other pictures where you can see that they're threaded. But still, silly shit. This is such a line. You're in my replies, but I don't see you between my thighs. Like, damn. It's one of the annoying things about having been monogamous for most of the last 13 years, is that I don't get to flirt with people. Like, I'm not comfortable with flirting with people, and I don't want to, but, like, it could be fun. What even is flirting? Who fucking knows? I will like platonically flirt with people sometimes. Like, I posted the word boobies a couple weeks ago. I do that sometimes. I just randomly post the word boobies. And Star Panda responded to it and she said, I almost posted a pic like it was a command. And I responded like, if I were the flirtatious type, this would be the moment to say good girl. So I'll engage with flirtation in that esoteric way of like with distance and stuff still. But I don't want to flirt with the possibility of people actually thinking that I'm flirting because I am deeply unavailable. Like just deeply unavailable. Although TBH, if I end up single for any reason, there is a decent chance that I will start doing sex work. Like, just because I already have the Fansly, and I could just be like, well, guess what? I'm going to post nudes now. Someone offered to buy me a drink at the bar Saturday night after I told them about the guy that hurt my feelings, and he immediately offered to buy me a drink. I don't know how to say yes to a strange guy. Yeah, that would be weird. When it comes to flirting, I can only do it with complete strangers or people I'm already fucking. Like, I see, you know, Poppy flirts with a lot of people on the timeline, and I'm like, wow, that's, like, you're so brave. I would love to live in a world where casual flirting was normalized and not an invitation or expectation for more. I mean, I feel like there's a difference between, like, I don't know, this is a whole conversation about flirting. If you post boobies and you want to see boobies, I could oblige. I think I saw the boobies tweet and all I said was, I agree. I mean, that's all it was intended for. It was just intended for people to be like, true, boobies. But I, like, if I really wanted to see boobies, I would do the new thing, the new popular thing that you do, which is you go, I don't think trans girls are able to grow big boobies on their own. I bet no trans girls can ever grow their own boobies, and you will never be able to post a picture in the replies proving me wrong. Like, it's so easy to get booby pictures on demand. I know, Poppy flirts with everyone. Yeah. It's what she does. All I want most of the time is just hugging and watching TV together with a shared blanket, and that reads as platonic to so many people. Yeah. It is, I don't really consider, like, cuddling and watching TV with a shared blanket. I mean, that's something that I really want to do romantically, so maybe it's kind of hard for me to see it as being more of a platonic activity. Dally, are you way behind? What are you talking about? That's an ADA violation. Are you back in the bathroom segment right now? Stream is gonna be over by the time that person gets to the part where I said their name. Being divorced within the same year I finally started transitioning has made it difficult to flirt. I'm so embarrassed with people who are obviously super into me, and I don't know how to act since I'm on the other side of things and haven't been in the game for like 10 years. This is why online dating is a thing. Here it's too hot for the blanket, but we're big cuddle bugs. I do be missing cuddle time. That's the one thing that that would be the one annoying aspect of being single, is like I really think that cuddles, I would be missing out on it. But I also have been in a relationship for 13 years where I have consistently wanted to cuddle more than we're doing. So it's like, well, maybe it wouldn't be that different. I'm so handsy during movie time. I almost didn't make it through hard candy last night. LOL, hard candy. Having fun. Everyone here is all about the cuddles. Although it is fucking hot. We're at that phase in the world where it's warm. You get a Joker who sends you bird pictures for boobies. Every once in a while, you gotta send a picture of blue-footed boobies to just mix things up. Oh god, okay, my voice really hurts, y'all. So I'm gonna get out of here and rest my voice so that I'm not, like, too sick to stream on Thursday or some shit like that. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. You have made this a very fun stream, a very active stream, one of my more successful streams, which is great. So thank you all for hanging out. As far as I know, we will be streaming again on Thursday. So if you want to click the notification bell or join the Discord to get some notifications when we go live at 5 p.m. Central on Thursday, feel free to do that. And, you know, don't get in trouble. That's like quickly becoming the one rule of Luxander chat. Like, don't get in trouble. Don't get caught.